what is that one main big reason for skin cancer?
Is sun exposure.
Should people cut off from smoking and drinking fully?
As a doctor and a dermatologist, I would say yes. In Korea and in Turkey, on their 18th birthday, the parent gifts their child a skin treatment or a filler treatment or a Botox treatment or a plastic surgery. So maybe in the next 5 years or 6 years, you'll have an acne vaccine.
Why do you think we are like so behind in terms of our R&D specifically? Like ये सब US में ही हो रहा है, why not like in India?
And they're all Indians who are doing it.
Sunscreen is like the highlight of our interview today.
Absolutely.
It's like
Always.
all over.
Wherever I always say, please sunscreen. People may want to, may not want to, but I will continue to preach. अब अगर आप कुछ करवाते हो तो लोग क्या कहेंगे?
Do you think India में ज़्यादा है ये judgment?
इंडिया में ही.
Today we have one of India's biggest celebrity dermatologists with us, Dr. Jayashree Sharad. Welcome Jayashree to our show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to talk to you today because there has been so much of talk around, how to maintain your skin at different age groups and especially women during their menopause and for example when they start at the onset of menstruation, they face a lot of issues with their skin. Primary reason being the acne that comes out of the heat that the body produces. So let me start by asking you on that issue, that why is it that women start getting more acne at a relatively earlier age than men?
Let me tell you that men have more oil glands, more sebaceous glands, and men get more acne than women.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the truth. But yes, you're right. During puberty, all genders, in fact, will get acne if you have a genetic predisposition. If
What
you
is
don't
that?
So if it is there in your genes and if you have very oily skin, then during your puberty, there are changes in the hormones and that will lead to more acne. Okay, so, but if you don't have it in the genes and if you have dry skin, then you will not get acne.
Yeah.
So everybody need not necessarily get acne. I never got acne in my life, blessed.
That's what.
But sometimes now at this age, because I'm perimenopausal, I am breaking out, like I have one pimple there. But otherwise I never earlier got acne in my life. So that was because it's in my genes. My parents never had it. My grandparents never had it. Probably my great grandparents never had it. So you have to have a few genes in you. Your skin has to be oily for you to get acne at that age. And the hormones are just about setting up. They're all lost.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find their balance. And that's when your, estrogen, progesterone levels are trying to set a particular level.
Yeah.
There's something called the HPA axis. They're trying to reach that. During that period, your oil glands or sebaceous glands get signals because of these hormones to produce more oil. Then there is a normal bacteria called Cutibacterium acne. All right. It's normally present in the oil gland, but in certain numbers.
Yeah.
These oil glands receive signals and there is excessive oil or sebum production. These bacteria have excessive food. They have partying. They have a feast. So they start feeding on this and there's a multiplication and so you get pimples. Right? Because there's an excess of this bacteria. When there's an excess of oil and it's not, because there is so much and your pores are unable to excrete them out, the pores get clogged and you get whiteheads. When these whiteheads get exposed to sunlight, they get oxidized and they become blackheads.
Oh.
So blackheads are not dirt.
Got it.
Right? It's whiteheads which get oxidized and become blackheads. So all these changes happen around that time. And which is why it's so common. And you have to make sure at that time that, your lifestyle is holistic. It's very difficult. Imagine I'm telling a teenager, don't have chocolates, don't have burgers. My heart is like, oh my God, why am I telling this kid this? But I have to.
Yeah.
Because it's either acne or pizzas and burgers, right? You have to choose.
But what lifestyle should a teenager adopt to avoid acne?
So what happens is if you are getting acne, you have to avoid food with high glycemic index. So pizzas, pastas, burgers, anything which has maida in it.
Wheat pasta
Anything
is fine.
in moderation.
Okay.
Right? Anything which has sugar in it. Now, when I say sugar, I mean jaggery, I mean honey, I mean dates. Everything sugar will increase your hormone called IGF-1, and that will give certain, signals to the oil glands to produce more oil. So again, if you have milk by itself has whey, casein, which is anyway going to increase your androgen levels, the male hormone levels in the body, even in a female, and it's also going to increase the IGF-1. So these are the culprits. And milk also, sometimes you don't know if the cows are fed with a lot of antibiotics or hormones, and sometimes they're pregnant cows, so they're anyway the milk is rich in hormones. So all of that is being passed on, and again, it's a cycle where it passes on, gives signals to the oil glands, and you get more oil, and then you get more acne. So milk, you can have yogurt and you can have buttermilk in moderation, but milk per se, sugar, maida, potatoes, kids at this age love fried potatoes and yes, high glycemic index basically. So the good carbs you can have.
Which are the good carbs?
Yeah. All the vegetables, lentils, pulses, they're all good carbs, right? So you can have that. You can have some of the fruits, don't have very, very sugary fruits all the time. You can have them in moderation. So if somebody asks me, Doc, can I take a mango? I say, please eat a mango. A mango has a lot of vitamins in it. Vitamin A, beta carotene, antioxidants, very good for you. But if you have acne, have it in moderation. Because again,
it produces heat.
Yeah. So again, it'll increase your IGF-1 level, more than the heat. It's about the hormone.
Right.
So we've talked about food. The second thing is your sleep cycle. So for the hormones to balance, the hormones need a certain circadian rhythm.
Right.
They follow that rhythm. So if you're sleeping, you need to sleep early. And if you're sleeping at say 10:30, 11 or 11:30 today, you should follow that cycle every day. You can't sleep at 11 today, 1 tomorrow, 3 day after and say, oh, but I'm getting my 8 hours of sleep. That doesn't work.
Right.
So you need to follow that cycle. Sometimes when I tell people, please sleep by 10:30, they say it's not practical. We have homeworks, we have
parties to attend,
things to do. So I say, okay, fine, at least midnight. Then you make it midnight every day.
Correct.
So that is important. And get your 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
At that age, teenage, you need your 8 hours of sleep. As you grow older, you can do with 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
But so how does that change? Like, as you grow older, you can sleep lesser.
So what happens is your body begins to function in a way that your hormones, you require only that much melatonin. You still need rest. You need 6 hours minimum. I know of people who can do with 4 hours also.
Yeah.
But sleep is very essential for the hormones to balance. Then comes exercise.
Yeah.
All right. So even if you run or cycle or skip or whatever you want to do, dance, Zumba, anything, but at least for half an hour, 4 days in a week, is very important for the skin to stay healthy. Okay, so that is there.
Yeah.
Then comes the products that you apply these days with Instagram and like a lot of other social media and so much awareness. Kids are using a lot of wrong products.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of products. Like every possible serum that they've read, they want to use on their face.
Yeah.
And that will again clog your pores and give you acne.
So what kind of skincare routine should any youngster follow?
So if you're talking about a teenager, I will say use a good cleanser that is meant for your skin type. So if you have oily skin, use salicylic acid based cleanser at least once a day. Again, if you have acne prone skin, salicylic acid or glycolic acid or tea tree oil. If you have dry skin, use a cream based cleanser. Okay, if you have normal skin, you're lucky, just use any cleanser. So cleanse your face or wash your face twice a day. Moisturize in the morning and apply sunscreen.
Sunscreen is essential, is it?
Sunscreen is mandatory. Whether you're indoors or outdoors, imagine for you this light all the time. You need a sunscreen.
I've not put.
You need to, right? So it's very essential that you do this basic. Just follow these 3 steps in the morning.
Got it.
And these 3 steps have been there forever, right? Cleansing, moisturizing, sunscreen.
Only सीरम कहाँ से आ गया बीच में?
हाँ, उसके बाद बीच में टोनर आया, वो आप भूल गए,
हाँ वो भी है
ना? So then they said, oh, CTM, CTM. And I said, no, CTM, CMS.
What is
Right? Cleansing, moisturizing, sunscreen.
Acha.
Right? Not cleansing, toning, moisturizing. So that is what you need to do. Toning is very optional. A toner need not be used. I have never used a toner in my life.
Yeah.
If you have very oily skin, you may use a toner. So that adds is like a double cleansing. Otherwise, it's optional.
Yeah.
And then came the serums, right? Now, the ingredients that we're talking about, whether we are saying retinol was discovered in 1947. It's been there since then, and we as dermatologists have been prescribing retinol forever.
Yeah.
Right? For acne, for anti-aging, for everything. So that's been there. Vitamin C was also discovered in the 80s. Niacinamide has been there since, like, I don't know when.
Yeah.
Right? One of the most popular brands in the country, the Fairness brands, has niacinamide in it.
Correct.
And our grandmothers have used it. So that's been there. You know, peptides, I gave my first talk on what's new in cosmeceuticals in 2011 when I talked about peptides. We're in 2024 now, and suddenly everybody's saying peptides. So these ingredients have been there, but they've not been spoken about. So this, I think, came about in the lockdown, where everybody was free, and suddenly some wise people decided to talk about skincare, and then they started talking about ingredients in skincare, and suddenly these became the buzzwords. And then the cosmeceutic, the pharma industries and the cosmetic industries, the beauty industries took it up, and then so many of these small scale and newer industries came about and started making all these serums.
Got it.
And then you have skinfluencers and influencers and beauty, bloggers and all of them who've talked about it.
Yeah.
So, which is a good thing in a way, because there's so much awareness. And people at least know that yes, skincare is important. But it's also a bad thing because you're using the wrong products without consulting a dermatologist.
Yeah.
At least once you must consult a dermatologist.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Before
there
you
are
start.
so many products like vitamin E, A, C. Like, how do you know which one to pick up from the shop? There are so many options today.
So there are options, and then you also have, a lot of information, right? So I've seen people who just follow influencers on social media and then pick up so many products. Okay, somebody's talking about snail mucin, the whole world is using snail mucin.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's good for you or not. Now, it can give you allergies if you have sensitive skin. If you're allergic to shellfish, it can give you allergies. If you have acne or acne prone skin, it can give you more acne.
Yeah.
All right, it has certain enzymes which will cause more acne. So it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But everybody uses it. Snail mucin has become the new holy grail for moisturizing and hydrating the skin. So I just gave you an example of snail mucin, but every other ingredient, once it's really hyped, people think, oh, I cannot live without vitamin C. It's not true. It's an amazing ingredient, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I prescribe it also to a lot of my patients. But not every skin type will tolerate it. Right? So not everybody probably can use retinol. It's one of my favorite ingredients.
Yeah.
I use only retinol. I don't use any other serum.
Okay.
So I use a moisturizer sunscreen. At night I use a retinol. Right? I don't do the AHA, BHA, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, vitamin C. I don't do it all.
Yeah.
But it's not safe in pregnancy. Or some people can get, irritation, a lot of irritation, a lot of flaking. So you need to know how to use the product.
But why is retinol not safe in pregnancy?
So it's a large dose of vitamin A, and vitamin A in such large doses, it's teratogenic. That means it has, when the baby is formed, it's being formed, it'll cause certain deformities.
Oh my God.
So you got to be careful with retinol. Yeah. Topical retinol, not as much, but if you're consistently applying it, and especially higher concentrations, you've got to be careful. So don't use it. And oral retinol, definitely not. Isotretinoin, definitely not.
Oh my God. I think people should highly consult a dermat because you never know how you're affecting your own
I did
life.
have a patient yesterday, in fact, and she was going through some, pregnancy-related treatment, and she was happily applying retinol. So I said, have you told your gynecologist this? She'd come to me for the first time she picked up her retinol on her own. She said, oh, I didn't. So I said, I think you should consult. So she messaged her gynecologist, and the gynecologist flipped. That, you can't do this. I think we'll have to postpone your treatment by a month.
Oh my God.
Right? So you need to be aware, and you need to be careful. And you can't just randomly pick up products. A lot of them come with allergies these days. The number of allergies and acne and folliculitis and all the rashes that I see now have probably increased fourfold than I would see pre-COVID.
How is that?
Because everybody is using products without consulting a dermatologist.
But pre-COVID also they were using.
People were not using so much. People were
Really?
using just a moisturizer and a sunscreen. Where were people using so many serums?
So the COVID wave brought in new
in
products.
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
People were using products even before, but on a dermatologist's recommendation, and maybe the people who are more mature, with more mature skin, once you've crossed 30, 35, then you were using things.
Yeah.
You were not using it at a younger age,
Hmm.
when your skin is so tender.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
I know people
But that
who
doesn't
are-
mean that people who are in their 40s, 50s can also just start using random things on their face without consulting a dermatologist. They can also get a reaction.
Yeah.
And they do come with reactions. Most common being allergies and rashes and acne.
What kind
Everybody
of
gets.
allergies?
So you get those red rashes, or you get these red bumps which are very itchy. Sometimes there can even be burns, right? And acne is very, very common,
Yeah.
because the pores get clogged with the wrong kind of products.
I think it's a serious issue to be considered before acne becomes like an epidemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like
So
everywhere
I'm
now.
not asking people not to use serums. It's important to use serums, but you don't need to use all the serums.
Huh.
You may need one or two. If you, for example, if you have acne prone skin, use a salicylic acid, a BHA serum, right? At the most, you can also use a retinol,
Huh.
but don't use a vitamin C or a snail mucin. You don't have to use all the actives.
Yeah.
Just because you know that there are 10 actives, you don't have to use them. Just do one or two. More than enough. Use them.
Yeah.
Important. So if you have, say, hyperpigmentation, okay, then you use an alpha hydroxy acid and an alpha arbutin or a vitamin C.
Yeah.
That's it. Or maybe a niacinamide. So one or two of them.
Got it.
You don't need all four. And you don't need all the others.
Right.
If you have dry skin, probably hyaluronic acid or snail mucin or hyaluronic acid and niacinamide.
Yeah.
Because they hydrate the skin.
Yeah.
Forget about the rest. So choose those two important active ingredients which are meant for your skin type
Yeah.
and for whatever concern you have. And if you don't have any concern and you just want some, preventative treatments and, serums which will prevent you from aging faster, then depending on your skin type, you have vitamin C, you have retinol, you have AHA. So now who's going to help you with all that?
Yeah, exactly. I was coming to that question only, that even as dermats, how do you decide what a skin type of the person is? Like, what metrics do you use to understand that?
Child, after MBBS, we've studied for 3 years. So 8 years after 12th standard, and then you continue to study. So it's a lot of hard work.
But
As
do you
opposed
just
to-
look at the skin?
No.
And
We
how
will,
is it?
we will examine the skin. There are dermoscopes that we use. There are magnifying glasses and there are dermoscopes
Okay, what
which
is that?
help us. It's a kind of an instrument which magnifies the skin like 20-fold.
Oh.
And then you can actually see everything even deeper. And then you can understand what's happening on your skin. And there are trichoscopes for the hair.
Okay.
So you use them.
Huh.
And then, of course, it's your study and your expertise.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you feel the skin and you understand what the skin is like.
Yeah.
So all of that together, then you figure that, okay. And then you have to examine the entire face, because sometimes the entire, you may have very oily skin, but some places may be a little dehydrated. They may be like a little more sensitive. So, yeah, it comes with a lot of study
An experience.
and experience.
Yeah, I know. But do you recommend patients coming to you without applying any products on their face when they come for consultation?
So, it's not possible to ask them to not apply stuff and come.
Huh.
And me, technically treating a lot of people from the industry, whether it's OTT or big screen, they will come with makeup. So we have good makeup removers and we remove the makeup and then we examine the skin. Right? Because you can't be practical and say, hey, don't apply makeup and come.
Yeah, I know.
Men also apply makeup now, right?
Correct.
They don't have to be in the industry to apply makeup.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, but I put up a story yesterday on Instagram asking that what kind of questions would you want to ask a doormat. You won't believe most of them were men only, and one common question that they had was like, what is the skincare routine that men should follow? So we would want to know.
Of course. So when men come to me, boys from all age groups, from 10 to 75, whatever.
Really, you have patients at 75 also?
I do have a couple of them at 75 also.
Wow,
Yeah.
they're really living young then.
Yes, they are. Yeah, it's amazing. But don't forget, I'm a dermatologist. So I don't just do beauty.
Yeah.
So a 75-year-old may be coming to me for
Rashes
an
and
eczema
all.
or a psoriasis or a pemphigus, any
Yeah.
skin disease, lichen planus. So I treat all of that.
Yeah.
Right? So people often mistake me to just be doing beautification, which is not true.
Huh.
I'm a qualified dermatologist.
Correct.
And I will do an eczema or a psoriasis
Yeah.
or whatever the skin condition is. Although now, because there is, the volumes are large, I have assistants and, everybody does. So somebody does acne, somebody does psoriasis, somebody does something.
Yeah.
So it's not possible to treat everything
Correct.
and, see to everybody. But God is kind. Coming back to men's skincare, I don't give them too many things at one go.
Huh.
And I always tell them cleanse and then use a sunscreen which has moisturizing ingredients in them. And that's enough.
Okay.
So you just do that much, right? Just apply one product in the morning. And then at night do another. Cleanse your face, wash your face again. And apply another product. Now that product could be a moisturizer, could be an anti-acne cream, could be a cream for your hyperpigmentation, could be, a cream for whatever acne you have. So depending on what your requirement is,
Yeah.
I will give you one product at night. So I don't give you like layers in the morning and 10 layers at night. I don't give you the glass skincare routine and the
Yeah.
Korean skincare routine. I make it very simple for you. And I think if men do that much, at least, it'll make a huge difference. It's important, right? Skin is the largest organ of the body.
Yeah.
You need to take care. Now, once they start off with this, say, somebody's come to me and said, okay, I want a routine, and I give them a cleanser and a sunscreen for the day and a moisturizer for the night. Say I say, okay, this is what it is. Now come back to me after a month. I see how religious they have been and how compliant they've been in using that, how enthusiastic they've been. If they are, and they're willing to now add on, then I will add a serum. So I will add a night serum first.
Got it.
And if they're happily doing that, then probably I will add day serum. And that's it. So, and you know what? This is also true for women. You don't have to do 10 layers. So you may do a cleanser. Toner is optional. Then you apply a serum.
Yeah.
If you like the layers.
Huh.
You do a serum. You do a moisturizer and do a sunscreen. That's it.
Yeah.
In the day. At night, remove your makeup. Cleanse. Then apply a serum. Maybe an under eye and a face serum. And then apply whatever one product. Any anti-aging product or acne product or whatever. If your skin is very dry, then you top it with either an oil or a very heavy moisturizer, depending on your skin type. Now, what is very important when it comes to skincare routine, whether we're talking about men or women, males or females, is you have to remember that skincare is holistic.
Yeah.
You can't just apply products on your skin and say, oh, my skin's going to get fine. If you are not eating right, if you're abusing yourself, you are having a lot of alcohol, you're having a lot of sugar, you're smoking, you're not sleeping on time, or you're not sleeping for 6 to 8 hours, you are stressed about everything in, which is there on earth. All of us have stress, but you need to figure out how to sort of cope with that stress and not become overthinkers, right? Because all of these will also have, they will add to the health of your skin. Skincare is holistic. You can't just apply something and say, oh, I have to look wonderful with it. But I'm doing everything right. I'm using a moisturizer, I'm using a sunscreen, I'm doing this. Are you smoking? Yes, finished. How can I help you?
Yeah.
So,
But like, should people cut off from smoking and drinking fully to keep themselves clean on their skin?
as a doctor and a dermatologist, I will say yes.
Huh.
Now, is it practical? Even when you look at a cigar pack, it says smoking is injurious
Huh.
to health. So are people reading it and smoke and stopping or quitting? No, they're not, right? So as a doctor and a dermatologist, I am definitely going to say yes, because smoking is the number one, negative or an aggressor, a skin aggressor,
Yeah.
which will break down your collagen, which will cause skin laxity, which will make you age at a faster rate, which will cause dark circles, which will cause crow's feet, hyperpigmentation, will aggravate your acne, will aggravate your existing skin conditions like psoriasis, eczemas, everything. So that's the number one culprit. So if you ask me, I'll say definitely stop. Now, is it possible? No.
But any kind of smoking,
Any kind of smoking.
like whatever you
Vaping,
smoke.
Juul, everything.
But like natural cannabis and all also affects.
Also. So
Okay.
then, sort of lay it out to them
Hmm.
and then let them decide. We can't force anybody today.
Yeah.
I can't force people. It's up to you.
And even alcohol should be like
know?
fully stopped.
Yeah, why not?
Got it.
Because alcohol is a lot of sugar and
Yeah.
it dehydrates you. It dehydrates your skin.
Hmm.
Now, an occasional drinking, somebody says you are a doc, occasional. Say, yeah, okay, fine. I can't stop you.
How about
know?
cocktails? I'm just asking generally because everybody would have these questions.
So, of course, I mean, any alcohol with sugar is worse.
Yeah.
So, the moment you're adding anything sugar to your
Hmm.
alcohol, it just worsens the whole thing. And cocktails would be a mix of different alcohols,
Yeah.
definitely. So, now I'm not supposed to say this, but I don't tell people that, I will tell them that, listen, it's bad for your skin and it's bad for your health. Now, I leave it to you.
Yeah, of course, you can't control their actions.
Absolutely. So if you stop, great. If you become an occasional drinker from a daily drinker, fabulous.
That's a big change.
It's a big change. If you say, oh, I was smoking one packet of cigar every day and now I've come down to one, I'll say, very good, well done.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, okay, now you've done one a day, make it like
0.
one every other day. Slowly, you can't just stop, you can't tell. But having said that, I know of people who just stop. They throw it today and they stop it's the mindset.
Yeah, of course.
It's how, disciplined you are. Something has happened to you in your life and you from tomorrow, from today, from this moment, I'm not going to touch. And that's how it is. It happened to me.
Yeah.
I've never smoked I don't have alcohol, but
Huh.
I was a non-vegetarian.
Huh.
One fine day I said, you know what? Enough.
Yeah.
I was like a hardcore non-vegetarian. And so that one day when I decided that I'm not going to have, I never had.
But is eating non-vegetarian food unhealthy for
Not
us?
at all. Not at all. In fact, it's a lot of proteins.
Then
is
why
it
are
unhealthy?
people going on vegan diets?
So there are all these, lot of things keep coming, right? When it comes to, there are a lot of fads. There was keto diet, there was intermittent fasting, now there's vegan. Vegan is more because you don't want to harm animals.
Yeah.
It's more that
Yeah.
rather than a health point of view. But yes, milk, as I told you, has a lot of hormones and it does a lot of times cause a lot of damage to a certain class of people, not
Right.
everybody, right? Maybe that's why people are going vegan. But then it's coming a full circle now.
Yeah.
Now people are again quitting being vegan and coming back to. So if you eat a healthy diet and have everything in moderation, I think it's good. It shouldn't,
Was there a reason why you left non-vegetarian food?
it was for the same reason that, I thought a lot of
Animals.
animals, why should you sort of slaughter them and then have them? It's my own thing.
Yeah.
Having said that, people who are non-vegetarians, I urge them to have a lot of chicken, and a lot of fish if they're having hair fall. It's okay. It's fine.
Each to its own.
Absolutely.
But you spoke a lot about moisturizer, and there are a plethora of moisturizers today in the market. So how do you really decide which one to pick up? Because not everybody, especially in tier 2, tier 3 towns, might have access to a good dermat to go to and get a consultation on what to apply.
Buy my book.
So of course. Do you have the Hindi version also?
Yeah, it's an audio version.
Okay.
I think it's on Kindle. तो अगर हम मॉइस्चराइजर की बात करते हैं तो आपका जो स्किन है अगर बहुत ड्राई हो रखा है तो आप तेल भी लगा सकते हो, है ना. नारियल का तेल लगा लो, आमंड ऑयल लगा लो, है ना. वो मॉइस्चराइज कर देता है. या फिर आप कोई बेसिक मॉइस्चराइजर यूज़ कर लो अगर स्किन बहुत ड्राई है तो. आपका मॉइस्चराइजर बहुत थिक होना चाहिए. इट हैज़ टू बी थिक इफ़ योर स्किन इज़ ड्राई. लेकिन अगर आपका स्किन ऑयली है, चिपचिपा है, और उस पर आप फिर से बहुत हैवी कुछ लगाओगे या तेल लगाओगे तो वो और चिपचिपा हो जाएगा. तो फिर आपको वाटर बेस्ड या जेल बेस्ड मॉइस्चराइजर्स यूज़ करने चाहिए. और वो आजकल अवेलेबल है मार्केट में, बहुत आसानी से मिल जाती है.
राइट.
सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर स्किन टाइप यू यूज़. नाउ हाउ डू यू डिसाइड योर स्किन टाइप? आपको कैसे समझ में आएगा कि आपका स्किन ड्राई है या नॉर्मल है या ऑयली है या कैसा है? सुबह जब आप उठते हो ना, पहले चेहरा धो लो, फिर 1 घंटे के लिए कुछ मत लगाओ. रोज नहीं करना, 1 दिन की बात है. ठीक है, 1 घंटे के लिए कुछ मत लगाओ. फिर एक पतला सा टिश्यू पेपर ले लो. ठीक है, और फिर आप उसे अपने फेस पे अच्छे से स्प्रेड करो. फिर निकाल कर देखो. अगर वो टिश्यू पेपर पूरा मतलब ऐसा चिपचिपा हो गया, स्मज्ड है, मतलब आपका स्किन ऑयली है. अगर वो वैसा का वैसा ही है, मतलब आपका स्किन जो है वो ड्राई है. ठीक है, या नॉर्मल भी हो सकता है. अगर वो कुछ पार्ट्स में स्मज्ड है, कहीं ऐसा लग रहा है कि तेल चिपका हुआ है इस टिश्यू पेपर पे, और कहीं ऐसा लग रहा है कि मतलब कुछ भी नहीं है, मतलब आपका स्किन कॉम्बिनेशन है. ठीक है. अब नॉर्मल और ड्राई के बीच में आप कैसे समझोगे? बिकॉज टिश्यू पेपर तो वैसा ही दिख रहा है.
हाँ, करेक्ट.
आपका स्किन आपसे बात करेगा. सुनो, आपका स्किन हमेशा बात. माई फर्स्ट बुक वो स्किन टॉक्स. Your skin is always talking to you. Listen to it. So when your skin is dry, you will feel dry. Right? You will feel like skin is peeling, it's cracking, it's dry. So that is dry skin. Now if your skin breaks into a rash with whatever you apply, I applied some sunscreen today, I got a red rash. I applied a moisturizer, I got an itchy rash. I wore some metallic thing, I got a red rash. I wore some leather belt, I got a rash. That means your skin is sensitive. So that's how आपको पता चलता है कि हाँ, रैश, खारिश हो रही है, लाल धब्बे पड़ रहे हैं, मतलब आपका स्किन सेंसिटिव है. बहुत खिंच रहा है, ड्राई है. कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है, नॉर्मल है.
Normal skin is the best?
Obviously it's the best, right? It is the best. People think, oh, oily skin is very good. If you have oily skin, you don't age faster. That's not true. But yes, if you have oily skin to a certain extent, you know, it is moisturized. You still need a moisturizer. Even if you have oily skin. Because it's about hydration also. It's not just about oil. When you talk about hydration, it's also water. And it's oil. It's a mix of both. So you need both.
That's right. You spoke about water-based creams also. So कोई moisturizer. So कोई naturally ऐसे है?
Aloe vera है.
Aloe vera, yeah. That's
it's natural.
Correct.
Yeah.
But then how do you like decide?
But aloe vera से कुछ लोगों को एलर्जी होती है, तो हमेशा एक छोटा सा टेस्ट पैच कर लेना.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Correct.
Yeah.
Might not suit everyone.
Yeah.
But like, how can somebody decide? Should they go for a natural ingredient or a ingredient which is there in the market? How do you decide?
I think please go with an ingredient that is there in the market.
Okay.
And not everybody has access. And how many natural ingredients are we talking about? Aloe vera? Does everybody grow aloe vera in their house? And what if you're allergic to aloe vera? And and it becomes very sticky, and you can't apply it and step outdoors. It's nice to apply it at night. And so you have good products in the market, and they are not necessarily expensive.
Yeah.
Use them.
But if there's any...
And if you can't afford them, then coconut oil.
Yeah, correct.
Almond oil. Not if you have acne. Because then you'll end up with so much acne, and then you'll say, Dr. J said coconut oil, and I've got acne.
It's important to put disclaimers out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if there's any, DIY home care routine that somebody should follow for a healthy skin, what can it be?
Eat healthy.
Of course,
Eat
apart
it.
from eating, like
You
in
know,
terms of
as
application.
a person who has a scientific backing,
Huh.
I'm not a big promoter of DIYs because it's not safe for everybody. I might examine your skin and give you a DIY. Papaya mashed is a very safe DIY. Doesn't really harm the skin so much unless you have very sensitive skin. But you can do that. You can apply that. If you have dry skin, you can apply malai, milk cream, which is very good. My mom used to apply malai on my face through school. You can also do yogurt, dahi, if you have, normal skin or, slightly dry skin. But if you have acne prone skin, yogurt will again clog your pores. So, and you can't do lime, lemon, tomatoes raw on your skin because that pH is different.
Oh, yeah.
Citric acid, alpha hydroxy acid, all of that is there in those. They're great for skin, but you can't apply them directly because the pH is different. So they will irritate the skin at some point.
Yeah.
All right. So not every DIY is safe, and not every DIY is okay for everybody.
Right.
So if you come to me and I examine your skin and I say, yeah, I think you can do, dahi with a little bit of besan and a little bit of haldi to remove your tan. It's great if you have normal skin or a little dry skin, but it's not great if you have sensitive skin or oily skin. So it changes for everybody.
Yeah.
You can do it. I love masoor ki dal. I do myself. I do like a little powder of masoor ki dal, and I also take a little, a few oats and make a mixture out of that. I add a little aloe vera and I use it as a scrub. You can do that. But do a test batch. And do not use, again, I'm repeating this, do not use lime, lemon, raw tomatoes. You can do cucumbers under the eye if you have, really puffy eyes or dark circles. Will refresh you temporarily. Your dark circles are not going to reduce. Your puffiness is not going to go away, but temporarily it is going to reduce. So you can do that, right? So you've got to be careful with DIYs. You can do them, but maybe again coming back to the same thing, consult with your dermatologist and then do them.
Right. No, I remember using the raw tomatoes once during childhood and I got rashes out after that. It was quite bad.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you have normal skin, nothing will happen. But if there is sometimes you can't see what's happening to the skin. You don't know if the skin barrier is compromised. And you've gone and applied lime or lemon or tomatoes. And that part of your skin, the barrier is compromised. You'll get a rash, you'll get irritation, it can cause burns.
I know.
So you've got to be careful.
But we'll enter into the next segment of the podcast, which is into cosmetology, because that's a very widely used term these days, and we'll do a mix of Hindi English into this because it's relatively difficult to understand. So my first question into this would be like, why are people firstly not okay by showing it to the public that okay, we've done Botox or fillers, abhi karwaya hai to karwaya hai, like why are they like nahi kuch nahi karwaya hai, aisa kyun hai stereotype?
I think it's an age-old thing. People don't, because अगर आप कुछ करवाते हो तो लोग क्या कहेंगे, ये बड़ा हमारे सिस्टम में है कि अरे वो तो नेचुरली ब्यूटीफुल नहीं है यार, उसने तो ज़रूर करवाया है. ठीक है, तो ये एक पीपल आर अफ्रेड. लोग बहुत जजमेंटल हो जाते हैं और हो भी गए अभी आजकल तो और भी ज़्यादा है. ठीक है. अच्छा, मैं तो आजकल कुछ डॉक्टर्स को ही देखती हूँ जो कि एक्टर्स के बारे में, अरे इसने ये तो करवाया होगा, अरे नहीं करवाया, मुझे पता नहीं करवाया बट करवाया होगा. यू कांट, आप इस तरह से स्क्रूटनाइज नहीं कर सकते. तो सबसे पहले तो ये है, एक झिझक है क्योंकि लोग ही जज करते हैं, वो आप नेचुरली ब्यूटीफुल नहीं हो, आपने कुछ करवाया है. दैट इज़ वन थिंग. आई थिंक दैट इज़ द मेन थिंग बिकॉज एवरीबडी इज़ जजमेंटल. यू शुड कम आउट. जिस तरह से आप एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हो, जिस तरह से आप मेकअप लगा रहे हो या आप डेंटल ट्रीटमेंट्स कर रहे हो, उसी तरह से अगर आपने थोड़ा सा यहाँ पर आप कॉन्स्टेंटली फ्राउन कर रहे हो, ऐसे लग रहा है कि आप पूरे समय गुस्से में हो, you're angry all the time, you're upset all the time, you're frowning because your muscles here are overactive. Not because you're angry, but because you're constantly looking at the phone or you're constantly looking at the laptop, so you're focusing. तो यहाँ पे जो मसल्स होती हैं वो ओवर एक्टिव हो जाती हैं. एक प्रोसीरियस कॉरिगेटर 2 मसल्स हैं और आपको ये 2 लाइंस आ जाती हैं, नंबर 11. उसमें अगर आपने थोड़ा सा बोटॉक्स ले लिया, डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट ने आपको दे दिया, और वो आपके लाइंस जो हैं वो फ्री हो गए हैं, और अब आप ऐसे नहीं लगते हो कि आप पूरे समय गुस्से में हो, तो क्या बुरा है उसमें?
हाँ,
कुछ नहीं, राइट? तो ये बात लोगों को समझना चाहिए और दूसरों को जज नहीं करना चाहिए। और दूसरी बात ये कि ज़बरदस्ती आजकल तो नहीं भी किया तो भी करवाया होगा,
हाँ,
ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। आई मीन यार, वो खूबसूरत है या उनके फीचर्स वैसे हैं, तो आप क्यों उनको जज कर रहे हो? ठीक है, अगर कोई बहुत बचपन में चबी था और उसके बाद बहुत वेट लॉस हो गया है, तो उसके फीचर्स अलग हो जाते हैं,
या
ठीक है, उसने कुछ करवाया नहीं है, बट आपने इतना सारा लिख दिया उसने ये करवाया होगा, ये करवाया होगा। अरे नहीं करवाया, इट्स जस्ट अ हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल। और अगर करवा भी लिया तो क्या, व्हाट इज द हार्म?
एग्जैक्टली।
जैसे जैसे आपका एज बढ़ता है, आपके बोन्स जो हैं वो ब्रेक होने लगते, कम हो, मतलब दे स्टार्ट टू श्रिंक, दे रीसॉर्ब. So we have bones, then over that you have a thick fat layer, वो भी कम होने लगता है.
ओके.
उसके ऊपर एक मसल है जो पतला होने लगता है, ठीक है. उसके ऊपर फिर से फैट है,
हाँ.
जो हम देखते हैं, और फिर स्किन है जो भी पतला होने लगता है, बिकॉज आपका कोलाजन एंड इलास्टिन जो है, जो आपका बेसिक स्किन का एक फ्रेमवर्क है, एक फाउंडेशन है, वो भी ब्रेक डाउन, उसका भी ब्रेक डाउन हो जाता है. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द स्किन बिकम्स थिन. तो आपका पूरा जो सपोर्ट सिस्टम है, स्ट्रक्चर है, वही गिर रहा है. उसको हम पहले से ही संभाल लें, बिल्डिंग पूरी गिरने से पहले ही हमने उसको संभाल लिया, तो क्या बुराई है? Why should you not do these treatments?
Yeah.
And why should you feel shy? Now, there's another aspect. No, God has given us this. Okay, we respect you. But there are people who want to do it, let them do it.
Yeah.
आपको नहीं करना, आप मत करिए. So then, even for ladies, they have their kitty parties, or you have school gatherings, or you have whatever. There's a constant thing that, oh, she must have done this. And so that's why people shy away. Instead of saying, yeah, I've done it, so what?
Do you think India में ज़्यादा है ये judgmental?
इंडिया में ही है.
अच्छा, बाहर नहीं गई.
The moment you go to the US,
हाँ.
or you go to Europe, or you go to Korea, in Korea and in Turkey, on their 18th birthday, the parent gifts their child a skin treatment or a filler treatment or a Botox treatment or a plastic surgery. Get a boob job done, get a nose filler done, get a nose job done. That is their gift.
Really?
Yeah. I had this girl. I met her in Manipal. She's studying to be a dermatologist. And she was asking me, Dr. J, should I get my nose done? Should I go to a plastic surgeon? And I looked at her and I said, I think you have a good nose. Then she said, I come from Korea. And she was the one who told me, and I also know. But she again sort of, emphasized, and she sort of told me that, every parent gives their child this gift. Get a nose job done, because Koreans have a flat nose, so that's their gift. You go to the US, people are walking with bruises all over the face, right? They have fillers, they have Botox, whatever, they've done thread lifts, and they have bruises, and they are not even hiding the bruises, because they're okay, we've done it, right? A lot of dermatologists they can show before afters of patients. You see, I'm talking about people in the US. Here people don't.
Yeah.
People come to us and say, oh, we want to do a collab, or people come and say, they don't want to show it. They will say, okay, show a facial, but do not show my filler and Botox. Then you just go, forget everything, just go to Istanbul airport. You'll see people with plasters on their nose, and you'll see people, they're just casually walking around. They're so cool about it.
Yeah. Why did you mention Istanbul in specific?
Because Turkey is a big hub for rhinoplasties.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Since when?
They do, since ages, since eons.
Okay.
They do a beautiful job.
Is it because of the great doctors there, or what?
It's because of a mix of both. So when you have a demand, you have a supply. So obviously when people want nose jobs, even Korea, similarly Turkey, so they want nose jobs done, then your plastic surgeon will master that technique. It's as simple as that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But in India सबसे ज़्यादा कौन सा सर्विस यूज होता है कॉस्मेटोलॉजी में? व्हाट इज द मोस्टली वाइडली
Cosmetic dermatology. Okay, cosmetology is a word which is used. Is a very broad word.
हाँ.
It's not for us because we are qualified people.
Okay.
It's for people who are not qualified.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So what?
So come back.
So they like function without.
So there are a lot of people who are not dermatologists,
Huh.
right? You have so many clinics and chains where the people who are there are not dermatologists.
Yeah.
They have some degree.
They're like general physician for skin.
They may be general physicians, they may be homeopaths, they may be Ayurvedic doctors, they may not be doctors. They may not be doctors at all.
Yet they're consulting.
Yeah, they're doing all treatments.
Okay, that's scary.
Of course. You have big chains, you have big plush clinic. Today you have money. You set up a big place, right? You buy all the equipments, and then you hire some random people.
And how do people
And you
trust
market
them?
And you've got to look at degrees, but sadly you cannot look at degrees on the website. I have seen false degrees on the website.
Oh.
So you have to, word of mouth, reviews, go and see for yourself what are the degrees in the clinic displayed.
Yeah.
Find out and then opt for treatments. So when you go for your first consult, be a little aware.
Yeah. I didn't know all of this is happening.
And it's not here, it's all over.
Yeah,
It's in the
across
US,
world.
it's in, the most famous Harley Street in London. It's everywhere. So,
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
Got it. Yeah, but coming back to this.
You heard of that HIV in 3 patients who contracted HIV in, I think in Mexico or somewhere.
Yeah.
Because of vampire facials.
Hmm.
Unqualified people doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that was like a bizarre news.
Yeah. Similarly, something happened with Botox. There were side effects. And so now US FDA has become very strict and said, only people who are qualified will inject.
Yeah.
You can't play with these things.
Exactly.
You have to use them the right way. Okay, now most of the side effects that you see, this is another taboo that people have. People don't want to do a filler or a Botox because A, they feel, it's an injection. B, they feel, maybe, once I start doing it, I have to do it for the rest of my life, and if I stop it, my skin will worsen, which is not true. Okay. Third, some people overdo, and you see like weird faces, right? Overfilled. The lips are walking into the room before the face has walked in.
Yeah.
Right? Or they're like big pillow cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
With that kind of an overfilled syndrome, obviously if I'm looking at you, and I know that, oh my God, you've done fillers. In my mind, I'm like, oh, fillers does this to you. So I don't want to do it.
Correct.
Right? So that's why, again, people have these taboos. But people need to understand that if you use the product in the right way and right quantity and at the right frequency, you don't keep doing a Botox every month. You do a minimum interval. You have to keep a minimum interval of 3 to 4 months between 2 sessions.
Okay. And people don't do that.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, people will want to come back in 6 weeks. Or I'm not talking about our country. I'm generally saying that people, so they start seeing lines, they're very anal. So you've got to see, usually the effect of Botox lasts for about 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes even up to 6 months. So when you see the lines, then you come back. Okay, it's for these lines, it's for crow's feet, it's for forehead lines.
Yeah.
It's also for this bulky muscle here called masseter, which makes the face look very squarish. So we give Botox here, it chisels your face.
Okay.
It's also for these neck bands that, as we age, we get.
Yeah.
So it relaxes them.
Okay.
But these are all, Botox is very temporary. That's the beauty of Botox. It has no side effects.
It only lasts for 3 to 4 months?
3 to 6 months.
Okay.
And the effect goes off.
तो फिर वापस करवाना पड़ेगा?
करना पड़ेगा. अगर आपने नहीं करा तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आपका स्किन और खराब हो जाएगा. आप जहाँ थे
वहाँ पे वैसे
वहाँ आ जाओगे. यहाँ आपकी 3 झुर्रियाँ पड़ रही थी, 3 रिंकल्स थे, क्रोस फीट. आप बोटॉक्स करते रहे, आपके क्रोस फीट डिसअपियर हो गए. आपने उन मसल्स को एक्टिवेट नहीं किया. तो क्या हुआ, वो जब आपने बंद कर दिया तो आपके 3 लाइंस जो थे वो 3 के 3 रह गए, वो 6 नहीं हो गए.
हाँ.
और अगर आपने बोटॉक्स नहीं किया होता तो वो 6 हो जाते.
Got it.
You understand? So actually it's a good thing, but do it the right way. आपको अगर यहाँ 8 से 12 यूनिट की ज़रूरत है
हाँ.
और आपने 24 कर लिया तो ऑब्वियसली सारा मसल वहाँ पैरालाइज हो गया.
हाँ.
तो आपका मूवमेंट 0 हो गया.
Right.
तो यूनिट्स जो हैं वो हर मसल के ऊपर डिपेंड होता है.
Hmm.
And that a qualified trained doctor will be able to tell and inject.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to go to the right person.
But-
So I always say that imagine a chef or a driver.
हाँ.
Okay, so if the chef or is very very good, okay, he'll make a simple aloo ki sabzi also taste super delicious. Vis-a-vis somebody who doesn't know how to cook. But what are we blaming? We're blaming the aloo.
हाँ.
If there is a driver who is excellent, you give him a nano, he will drive it like a Lamborghini. So you have a filler, you're blaming the filler. You need to understand that, you know, it's like one of the ingredients.
Yeah.
Use it the right way. The moment you use it the wrong way, you start seeing all those weird faces.
So recently we've seen, Kendall Jenner getting some fillers done under her eye, and it was like bizarre. It was all over the news. So why do you think that? I'm sure she might be getting her treatment done from the best of the best. But फिर भी ऐसा क्यों होता है कि some celebrities get these treatments done and it doesn't turn out to be the way that it was planned?
केंडल जेनर का जो वो फोटोग्राफ वायरल हुआ था वहाँ पे उनको एक यहाँ पे स्वेलिंग हो गई थी. ठीक है. किसी इवेंट में रेड कार्पेट फोटोग्राफ्स थे, यहाँ पे बड़ा सा स्वेलिंग था. ऐसा क्यों होता है? आपने कहा कि इनके पास तो बहुत पैसे हैं, ये बड़े बड़े डॉक्टर्स के पास जा सकते हैं. कभी कभी बॉडी इस तरह से रिएक्ट कर जाती है. ठीक है. तो अगर आपका यहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट सही से नहीं बैठा हो किसी भी कारणवश, तो लिम्फेटिक ड्रेनेज यहाँ का आपका ब्लॉक हो जाता है. शायद वो हो गया होगा उनके साथ. तो जब वो ब्लॉक हो गया हो तो वहाँ पे एक स्वेलिंग आ गई. उसे ठीक होने के लिए 1 हफ्ता 10 दिन कभी कभी महीने लग जाते हैं. बट उनको शायद वो रेड कार्पेट उनके लिए एसेंशियल था, तो वो वहाँ गई और फोटोग्राफ्स ले लिए गए और वो हो गया. अब बहुत सारे कारण हैं इसके. या तो आप बार बार फिलर करवा रहे हो. अंडर आई फिलर मेरे हिसाब से अगर आप 1 सिरिंज कर रहे हो या 2 सिरिंज मान लो, 2 लग जाते हैं, तो 1.25 साल में एक बार बहुत है. हर 6 महीने में नहीं करना है. अगर आप कम कर रहे हो तो ठीक है, आपने आज 1 सिरिंज कर लिया, 6-8 महीने बाद एक टॉप अप कर लिया. लेकिन अगर आपने 2 सिरिंज कर लिया तो आपको 1-1.25 साल के लिए वेट करना चाहिए.
ओके.
बट कई बार लोग क्या करते हैं कि जैसे ही उनका थोड़ा थोड़ा इफेक्ट जाने लगता है फिलर का, क्योंकि फिलर हाइलुरोनिक एसिड होता है, उसका भी असर जो है वो चला जाता है. वो 1 साल 1.25 साल 2 साल मैक्सिमम. बट जब वो जाने लगता है तब जाकर वो तुरंत वापस एक इनसिक्योरिटी सी हो जाती है लोगों को, और स्पेशली केंडल जेनर जैसे लोगों को, तो वो फटाफट टॉप अप कर लेते हैं. तो प्रोडक्ट जो है प्रोडक्ट ओवरलोड हो जाता है वहाँ. तो फिर वो बल्जेस दिखने लगते हैं. अगर आपने सही सा प्रोडक्ट नहीं डाला, ठीक है, हाइलुरोनिक एसिड फिलर जो है वो अलग अलग कॉन्सेंट्रेशंस में आता है. सो यू हैव द वेरी लाइट वन विच यू पुट अंडर द आई. You have a very heavy one which you put in the cheek or in the sides to lift. So you can't put the heavy one under the eye. अगर वो आपने गलती कर दी तो भी आपको वो स्वेलिंग आ जाता है.
ओके.
अंडर आई फिलर्स जो है वो आपको जा कर के बोन के ऊपर डालना होता है. अगर आपने स्किन में डाल दिया तो भी वो स्वेलिंग सा हो जाता है. ओके.
बट द डॉक्टर्स तो
डॉक्टर्स
किया ही होगा उन्हें देख के ये सब.
कभी कभी डॉक्टर्स भी नहीं करते हैं, मतलब हो जाती है गलती.
हाँ.
You know, the best plastic surgeon made a disaster whenever, you know.
Okay.
And sometimes it's the human body.
हाँ.
आपका फेस जो anatomy हम पढ़ते हैं, बाद में जब कैडेवर डाइसेक्शन होता है और देखा जाता है तो हर एक फेस का जो ब्लड वेसल है वो अलग होता है. ठीक है. लिप ही ले लो. There is a blood vessel on the lip. Studies were done on the cadavers and it was shown that in about 55% of those cadavers, the blood vessel was below the muscle. ठीक है, तो इसके बेस्ड ऑन दिस हम जो हैं, जब हम लिप फिलर इंजेक्ट करते हैं, हम बहुत ऊपर करते हैं कि नहीं, ब्लड वेसल जो मसल के नीचे है तो हमें मसल के ऊपर लिप फिलर डालना चाहिए. बाद में जब उन्होंने स्टडी किया, ये तो सिर्फ 53% में था. व्हाट अबाउट द अदर्स? सो इन अबाउट 17 to 20% वो मसल के बीच में था ब्लड वेसल.
ओके.
एंड इन द रिमेनिंग वो मसल के ऊपर था.
हाँ.
तो अगर आपने मसल के ऊपर इंजेक्ट कर दिया तो आपको कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो सकता है. अच्छा, आप भगवान तो नहीं हो, आपको तो नहीं दिख रहा है ना कि आपका ब्लड वेसल ऊपर है, बीच में है, नीचे है.
करेक्ट.
तो कभी कभी ये गलतियां हो सकती हैं. लेकिन अगर आप क्वालिफाइड हो और आप वो गलती वहीं तुरंत पकड़ लोगे, क्योंकि आपने किया और तुरंत वो दिख जाता है कि आपका स्किन जो है वो ब्लांच करने लगता है या एक वायलेट कलर आ जाती है. आपने पढ़ाई की हुई है, आपको एक्सपीरियंस है, आप वेल ट्रेंड हो, आपको वो दिख जाता है. जैसे ही आपको वो दिख जाता है, आप वहीं के वहीं उसको प्रोसीजर को रोक लेते हो, आगे नहीं बढ़ाते हो. और एक इंजेक्शन होता है जिसे हम हाइलुरोनिडेज कहते हैं, एक एंजाइम होता है, हम वहीं तुरंत उसे दे देते हैं.
ओके.
ताकि वो जो फिलर हमने डाला वो डिसॉल्व हो जाए तुरंत. तो वो साइड इफेक्ट को आपने होने से बचा लिया. अगर आप क्वालिफाइड नहीं हो ना, तो आप ये नहीं कर पाओ. कभी कभी वो थोड़ा सा हल्का सा कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो भी जाए, तो उसको रिवर्स करना हमें आता है.
ओके. बट केंडल जेनर के केस में
तो केंडल जेनर के केस में रिवर्स हो सकता था ना.
हाँ.
अगर वो चली जाती और उसे डिसॉल्व करवा लेती फिलर को, तो रिवर्स हो सकता था. ठीक है, बट वो उनका उस वक्त का बैड लक कि शायद उनका वो रेड कार्पेट इवेंट ज्यादा था, क्योंकि जब आप रिवर्स करने जाओगे और वो इंजेक्शन डालोगे तो भी स्वेलिंग आएगी 1 हफ्ते के लिए, तो शायद वो चांस नहीं ले पाई.
राइट.
अब उनका फेस सही हो गया.
हाँ.
तो उन्होंने जाके उसे डिसॉल्व करवा लिया. कभी किसी का लिप फिलर खराब हो गया, ठीक है, हमने लिप फिलर किया, वो खराब हो गया, या डार्क लिप्स लग गई, या कुछ हो गया, ठीक है, और अगले दिन उनको इवेंट है, इवेंट में जाना है, तो या तो उन्हें वो इवेंट कैंसिल करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर वो डिसॉल्व करवाने गए और उनका लिप स्वेल हो गया अगले दिन, तो वो उस इवेंट में गए नहीं. तो या तो आप इस तरह से प्लानिंग करो कि आप जो कुछ, जब भी आप फिलर्स कर रहे हो, बोटॉक्स कर रहे हो, अगले 15 दिन के लिए आपका कोई एजेंडा इस तरह का नहीं हो जहां आपके पब्लिक अपीयरेंसेस हो. तो कुछ भी करेक्शंस हो, वो हो सकती है. सब हो सकता है, क्योंकि सब कुछ जो है, फिलर्स तो सबसे मतलब ईजिएस्ट है, 24 घंटे में डिसॉल्व हो जाते हैं.
ओके.
ठीक है, तो अगर आपको नहीं अच्छा लगा, आप डिसॉल्व करवा लो, डिसॉल्व हो जाते 24 घंटे में. लेकिन वो एक प्रोसेस है, कुछ लोगों में वो स्वेलिंग आ जाता है जो कि 1 हफ्ते तक रह जाता है. So you have to plan it. You know? तो इस वजह से आपने कल लिप फिलर कर लिया और अगले दिन आपको कैमरा के सामने जाना है और आपके लिप्स जो है बहुत सूज गए हैं तो दुनिया कहेगी अरे इसने क्या किया. 1 हफ्ते बाद वो स्वेलिंग कम हो जाता है, किसी को पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि इसने कुछ किया है.
राइट.
तो प्लानिंग अच्छी होनी चाहिए.
डॉक्टर के साथ साथ प्लानर भी होना चाहिए.
नहीं, डॉक्टर ही आपका प्लानर होगा क्योंकि प्लानर को आइडिया नहीं है. राइट. सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड so this is what has happened in Kendall Jenner. Any of these 5 things.
But tell me about some disasters that you've come across in cosmetic dermatology, overall in the world. ऐसा कुछ जो आपने सोचा भी नहीं होगा कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है.
Have you seen Madonna recently in the Grammys? Such a beautiful person. Beautiful woman. Look at her young pictures. A role model, an icon. Just looked so different when she had access to everything. Why did that happen? We don't know. It looked like an overfilled face. I'm nobody to judge, but it did look like an overfilled face. Or maybe a little bit of plastic surgery gone wrong. There's a very nice series, I think, on Netflix called Botched, where Dr. Paul something, he actually shows all these botched cases and how the plastic surgeries have gone wrong. It can go wrong. Sometimes it's just bad luck. It can happen in the best of hands. But most of the times it's because of lack of qualification. You know, so that's what probably happened to Madonna, and that is why I keep telling people that do not be obsessive, do not cross the line. You know, it's important to look youthful. So you age youthfully and gracefully. Have a few lines here and there. Don't let your face completely drop down and sag. But at the same time, if you're 50, don't aim at looking like you're 20. You can say, okay, I'm 50, I want to look like I'm 45. Right? So don't go overboard. And don't obsess. Don't follow social media. Her skin is like that, I want her skin like my skin like this. You know, look at her nose, I want a nose like that. Look at her lips, I want lips like that. Oh, look at his jawline and chin, I want it exactly like that. Don't obsess about that. Your bone structure is different. It is possible in today's day and age to do it. But why? Why can't you just enhance your own features? You know, I tell my patients, show me your old picture. बचपन की तस्वीर दिखाओ. आप जब teens में थे, उसकी दिखाओ. I will try to make you like that. I don't want to make you like somebody else. Although it's possible because it's math. You know. So, I think you need to embrace your own features. If something is really nagging you, please go ahead and, you know, somebody will be really, really psychologically debilitated because the nose is very big. Go and do a rhinoplasty because it's nagging you. And if it makes you happy, why not?
Yeah.
But don't go overboard. Don't cross that. There's a very thin line when you keep doing things. And your doctor should hold your hand and say,
Yeah.
pull you back and say no.
Right, exactly.
You know, sadly today, even if the doctor holds you back, the person goes to somebody else and somebody does it. So you need to be a little more aware. There's something called body dysmorphic disorder,
What is that?
where everything on your body and face looks abnormal to you,
Oh.
right? So you're constantly looking at yourself in the mirror or on a selfie camera, and selfie anyway makes you look abnormal, right? Or, you know, on Zoom, and you're just finding flaws with yourself. And you want to keep correcting. आज ये सर्जरी करवा लिया because this is hanging too much, कल boob job करवा लिया, परसों butt filler का butt implant करवा लिया, face पे हजारों चीज़ें. Every time there's a flaw, you're never happy with yourself. You need to see a counselor.
Yeah.
You can't go overboard. So that's what it is, you know. So you need the right kind of people to make you understand. There's nothing wrong in doing all these treatments. This is my bread and butter. But do it the right way. And then you won't see these botched jobs. Another thing, these days, we're doing a lot of regenerative medicine. Preventative.
Okay.
Okay? So you start early, right?
Huh.
Now what happens is your collagen breakdown starts after 30. It starts to increase with stress, with smoking, with alcohol, with pollution, with environmental disruptors, with hormones, with medication, with stuff that you apply, with stuff that you eat. So all these things play a role. Okay? So now if you start leading a healthier life and you do treatments which will prevent or delay the process of aging, then you don't treat. Now, I have a lot of ladies who come and say, no, I think doc, we'll do fillers when we're 50, 55. If you have an issue and you do it at the age of 35, say you have hollow eyes, sunken eyes which are making you look tired, ठीक है, और आपने वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा अंडर आई फिलर किया, कैंडल जैसा, जेनर जैसा नहीं, हल्का सा कर लिया, तो क्या होगा उसमें मैं आपको बताती हूँ. हाइलुरोनिक एसिड जो है बायोस्टिमुलेटर है. So when you put it, you're young, your body will absorb it well, it will take it well. और आपकी जो नॉर्मल, क्योंकि स्किन में हाइलुरोनिक एसिड होता है, जॉइंट्स में होती है, तो आपका जो नॉर्मल हाइलुरोनिक एसिड है और आपकी जो नॉर्मल स्किन सेल्स है, फाइब्रोब्लास्ट्स हैं, वो सडनली एक्टिव हो जाती है क्योंकि आपने और थोड़ा सा उसमें हाइलुरोनिक एसिड डाल दिया. तो आपका नॉर्मल कोलेजन डिग्रेडेशन जो है वो स्लो हो जाता है और आपका नॉर्मल न्यू कोलेजन प्रोडक्शन बढ़ जाता है. सो व्हेन यू स्टार्ट अर्ली, आपको हर साल भी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. 1-2 बार आप करोगे, आज कर लिया, 1 साल बाद फिर से कर लिया, उसके बाद नेचुरल आपका जो प्रोडक्शन ऑफ कोलेजन बढ़ जाता है, आप देखो कि 2 साल 3 साल ज़रूरत ही नहीं.
तो कौन से एज पे
So-
ये एंटी एजिंग का शुरू करना
So,
चाहिए?
Now, when you're talking of which age, I will say skincare routine, sunscreen in your teens only, or maybe even in school,
हाँ,
right? That's anti-aging.
right.
The number one anti-aging ingredient or product that you use in your daily life is a sunscreen. Then comes a moisturizer. It's anti-aging. So these two. Then you talk of treatments. I would say in your early 30s, you can start with basic treatments like chemical peels when we talk of anti-aging. If you have acne and you are 22, I may do a salicylic acid peel even at 22 or even at 18. Okay, but when we're discussing anti-aging, I will say after 30, we start with chemical peels for anti-aging, glycolic acid peels, retinol peels. We do vampire facials, which basically is nothing but platelet-rich plasma. We take your blood, we centrifuge it. उसमें से हम प्लेटलेट रिच प्लाज्मा निकालते हैं जो ग्रोथ फैक्टर्स में बहुत रिच होता है. उसे हम वापस इंजेक्ट करते हैं और उसके बाद हम उस पर माइक्रो नीडलिंग करते हैं. तो सारा स्किन जो है वो बिल्कुल ऐसा रेड हो जाता है, वैम्पायर जैसा, एंड ब्लडी. सो किम कार्दाशियन कॉल्ड इट वैम्पायर फेशियल, तो उसका नाम पड़ गया. ठीक है,
उसने जब से बोला तब
से नाम पड़ा है. हाँ, अदरवाइज हम तो भाई सीधे साधे, हम तो पीआरपी बोलते हैं, प्लेटलेट रिच प्लाज्मा एज द मेडिकल थिंग, राइट? दैट्स द ट्रीटमेंट.
पर कोई भी कर सकता है क्या ये वैम्पायर फेशियल एट एनी टाइम?
सो कोई भी कर सकता है एट एनी टाइम, बट
is it really required?
So that's what I'm saying. If you want to maintain, then after the age of 30,
हाँ,
you start doing these treatments. You don't do it every week. You do maybe one every month for 4 months. Then you forget about it for a year,
okay.
right? Then again after a year you pick up. And then you either do that or you ask your dermatologist what else.
Yeah.
So these are basic treatments that you can do. Once you've reached 35, then you can go a step further and you can do something called radiofrequency skin tightening.
What is that?
So radiofrequency energy is heat energy, which for you it'll feel like a hot massage with a device. These devices are very, very, well researched, FDA approved. There's radiofrequency energy that gets into the deeper layers of your skin. और वहाँ पे जो कोलाजन जो डिग्रेड हो रहा है उससे वो टाइट करता है.
Okay.
सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन द डिवाइस आपको या तो हर हफ्ते एक सिटिंग 6 हफ्ते के लिए करना पड़ता है.
हाँ.
और उसके बाद आप साल में फिर से रिपीट, 1 साल बाद रिपीट करो. क्योंकि देखो प्रोसेस ऑफ एजिंग तो कंटिन्यूस है, आप उसे स्टॉप तो नहीं कर सकते. तो उसमें क्या है कि आप ट्रीटमेंट करके चले गए बाहर, आप पार्टी में चले गए, आप इवेंट में चले, कुछ भी नहीं दिखेगा क्योंकि नीडल्स नहीं है, कुछ नहीं. आप नॉर्मल फेशियल्स में पैसे बर्बाद करने से अच्छा एक रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी स्किन टाइटनिंग कर लो अगर आप 35 के हो. इज नॉट मोर देन 5-6,000 रुपीज. और एक अच्छा सा फेशियल भी आजकल उतना ही है.
Correct.
Right.
But this 5-6,000 is for one sitting.
Yes, for one sitting. Now there are devices which are जो आपको 3,000 में भी हो जाता है. So the whole process is about 18,000 rupees. ठीक है, तो आप कर सकते हो. अभी अब फ्राउन लाइन का जो बोटॉक्स है,
हाँ,
12 यूनिट्स यूजुअली यूज़ करते हैं हम लोग. यूजुअल किसी में ज़्यादा किसी में कम. 4,800 रुपीज़ है उसका कॉस्ट. कौन सा ज़्यादा है मतलब करने वालों के लिए. ठीक है, तो अगर आप हर महीने भी 2,000 रुपये का या 1,000 रुपये का फेशियल कर रहे हो तो साल का वो 12,000 हो गया. और यहाँ आप 4 महीने में एक बोटॉक्स कर रहे हो 4,800 या 4,500 रुपीज़ का, जो आपको और दुखी और एंग्री नहीं मतलब वो आपके चेहरे से वो निकल.
हाँ, वो
तो
भी 15,000 तक का ही आ जाएगा.
तो उस तरह से आपको देखना चाहिए. ये नहीं कि अरे वो बहुत महंगा है बोटॉक्स, नहीं, आप उसे देखो ना क्या कर रहा है. आप फेशियल कर रहे हो, आप फेशियल क्या कर रहे हो, आप फेशियल से आपको फील गुड फैक्टर आ रहा है.
हाँ.
साइंटिफिकली कुछ कर रहा है वो फेशियल? नहीं, कुछ नहीं कर रहा. आप उस फेशियल की जगह पे अगर एक वैम्पायर फेशियल कर लोगे, या आप मतलब जो पीआरपी ट्रीटमेंट है वो कर लोगे, या केमिकल पील, ग्लाइकोलिक एसिड पील कर लोगे जो 2,000 रुपये का है. ठीक है, हम महीने में एक बार किया तो आपको साइंटिफिकली वो आपके कोलाजन का ब्रेकडाउन स्लो कर देता है, पिगमेंट स्पॉट्स कम कर देती है. तो आपको कुछ तो कर रहा है, आपकी स्किन को बेहतरीन बना रहा है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट सम फेशियल जहाँ आपको फील गुड है तो फिर बॉडी मसाज कर लो, फुट मसाज कर लो.
आजकल तो फेस मसाज भी आता है, फेस योगा.
हाँ जी, वो भी आता है.
Different concept.
Yeah, that's a different concept altogether. So that is it. So then after 35, then by 40 we start, between 35-40 we also add HIFU, which is high intensity focused ultrasound. Okay, that's again ultrasound energy which gets into the deeper layers of the skin and tightens it. So these are all non-invasive treatments that we do. Now if you start getting wrinkles which are very prominent, we also give you little Botox at an early age, but you have to do it in moderation,
Yeah.
lesser quantities, right? So if you ask me in your clinic what age do you start, I do start at 35. But if somebody at 30 comes to me with really bad frown lines, I will do it.
And what's the
Why
reason
will I
for
do
that
it?
early frown lines?
Constant phone, constant laptop,
Huh.
frowning. So you're exercising your muscle. The more you exercise your muscle, the more the lines will become prominent.
Okay.
Now, yesterday itself I had a patient who said, you know, doc, I did my frown line Botox 15 years ago, and now I'm coming back to you for it. After 15 years, my Botox lasted 15 years. Actually, the Botox didn't last 15 years. When you took Botox 15 years ago, you were constantly frowning, right? फिर आपको बोटॉक्स दे दिया, आप हमेशा फ्राउन कर रहे थे, आपको बोटॉक्स दे दिया. आज आप 46 ईयर्स के हो, उस वक्त जो भी आपका एज था 30-31 ईयर्स, तो तब आपको जब बोटॉक्स दिया, आपका जो हैबिट था ना कॉन्स्टेंटली ऐसे फ्राउन करने का, वो आपने छोड़ दिया अगले 3-4 महीने के लिए. फिर आपका वो हैबिट निकल गया, तो आपके वो लाइंस नहीं आए.
Yeah.
फिर जब एज से उन लाइंस को वापस आना था एट 45-46, तब वो आ गए. तो एज से पहले क्यों आते हैं? क्योंकि आप वो मसल्स को ओवर एक्टिव कर देते हो.
Yeah.
तो जब आपने वो कर लिया उस एज पे बोटॉक्स, तो वो आपको लगा कि बोटॉक्स तो 15 साल लास्ट करते हैं, बट वो वैसा नहीं है. बोटॉक्स तो अपना 4 महीने 6 महीने ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, लेकिन वो हैबिट आपकी छूट गई.
Right.
तो
So
क्या
that's
हाल
why
है?
doing it early is also important.
That is the thing.
Yeah.
Then, you know, coming to other invasive, more like slightly more invasive would be fillers and, you know, thread lifts and all of that. That you need when you see that things are going
Yeah.
out of control. Now, as I said, with age, अगर आपका bone जो है वही जा रहा है, muscle जा रहा है, fat जा रहा है, तो यहाँ का जो hollow है ना वो बढ़ जाता है, क्योंकि यहाँ का bone जो है ये socket बढ़ जाता है, बड़ा हो जाता है. तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली यहाँ पे अंडर आई सॉकेट्स आपके बढ़ जाते हैं, हॉलो होना शुरू हो जाता है. यंगस्टर्स में होता है, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ जेनेटिक्स,
Yeah.
बट एज एन एजिंग प्रोसेस ऑल्सो हो जाता है. यहाँ का जो बोन है वो भी इट स्टार्ट्स, यू लूज दैट बोन. नोज का बोन यू लूज. आप अगर अभी तो आप बहुत यंग हो, बट आप अगर देखोगे इवन माई फोटोग्राफ एट द एज ऑफ 20 एंड नाउ, the nose begins to droop. In some people a little more, because ये जो बोनी सपोर्ट है वो चला गया.
Right.
ठीक है, ये जो है अपर लिप वो थिन होना शुरू हो जाता है, बिकॉज यहाँ का बोनी सपोर्ट चला गया, तो ये ऐसे कर्ल हो जाता है और अपर लिप थिन हो जाता है. यहाँ का फैट चला गया, यहाँ इसके ऊपर जो फैट है वो चला गया,
Yeah.
तो ये थिन हो जाता है. तो इस तरह से ऑल दीज एजिंग चेंजेस, अब आपके अपर जो लेयर्स हैं, जो अपर फैट, उसको सपोर्ट नहीं है, तो सब कुछ नीचे आता है. तो उसे हम वापस ऊपर कैसे करें, उसमें हम फिर फिलर्स यहाँ डालते हैं.
You put
तो
it
हम
directly in the bones.
on the bone,
Oh.
on the bone, right? तो कहीं कहीं डीप फैट में देते हैं, डिपेंडिंग ऑन वेयर द ब्लड वेसल्स आर. तो एक स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लेसमेंट होता है, तो आप उसे लिफ्ट करते हो. सिमिलरली यहाँ का जो हॉलो है उसमें हम फिलर डालते हैं.
Okay.
बोन अगर यहाँ का चला गया, ये ऐसा हो रहा है, तो हम यहाँ पे फिलर डालते हैं और यहाँ पे डालते हैं, तो ये लिफ्ट हो जाता है वापस. ठीक है. लिप आपका थिन हो गया विथ एज, इन मेन ऑल्सो,
हाँ.
तो हम लिप फिलर डालते हैं, इवन इन मेन.
But you spoke about nose filler also. So rhinoplasty में तो पूरा नोज का चेंज
तो
हो जाता है
surgery हो
स्ट्रक्चर.
वो सर्जरी.
और नोज फिलर में क्या होता है?
नोज फिलर हम तब करते हैं, 2 इंस्टेंस में करते हैं, कि अगर किसी 3 में करते हैं. अगर किसी का यहाँ पे बहुत ही फ्लैट नोज है,
हाँ.
जैसे मैंने कोरियन नोज की बात
Correct.
की, या चाइनीज नोज, थाई नोज, उनका यहाँ नोज बहुत, ये जो ब्रिज है ना बहुत फ्लैट होता है. तो उसे अगर आपको शार्प करना है, तो आप यहाँ पर फिलर डाल सकते हो. वो आप किसी भी एज पे कर सकते हो.
फिर
18
उससे
के
शार्प
बाद.
कैसे हो जाता है?
क्योंकि फिलर आपने डाला ना, इससे प्लेसमेंट
Okay.
किया ना, तो इस
Okay.
तरह से आपने एक लाइन डाल दी,
हाँ.
एक प्रोडक्ट डाल दिया यहाँ पे, तो ये ऐसा हो गया. जो फ्लैट है उसके ऊपर आपने एक ब्रिज सा बना दिया,
ओके ओके,
तो वो आप कर सकते हो। कभी
यू कैन लिफ्ट द नोज आल्सो,
यू कैन लिफ्ट द नोज। देन समटाइम्स क्या होता है कि किसी किसी को एक हम्प होता है, नोज ना ऐसे स्ट्रेट नहीं होती है,
हाँ,
ऐसा होता है, फिर एक थोड़ा सा हम्प होता है, फिर
करेक्ट करेक्ट,
तो हम क्या करते हैं, ये हम्प को छुपाने के लिए यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा फिलर डाल देते हैं, तो वो हम्प छुप जाता है। और तीसरा, एज के कारण जब नोज गिरने लगता है तो हम यहाँ पर फिलर डालते हैं, तो आपको यहाँ सपोर्ट देते हैं और यहाँ सपोर्ट देते हैं, तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली सपोर्ट, ये जो बोन है ये आपका गिर रहा है, तो हम ये इस बोन के ऊपर प्रोडक्ट डाल देते हैं, तो यहाँ से सपोर्ट हो जाता है, और ये भी गिर रहा है क्योंकि यहाँ का बोन गया, तो यहाँ पे सपोर्ट देते हैं, तो ये उठ जाता है, ये एज। तो ये 3 रीजंस है जहाँ हम नोज को ठीक कर सकते हैं विद फिलर्स। अगर आप कहो कि नहीं मेरा ये नोज बहुत यहाँ से बड़ा है, आप इसको कुछ कर दो फिलर से, वो नहीं हो पाता,
फिर उसके लिए
आपको सर्जरी करनी पड़ेगी। या ये बहुत बड़ा है, शुरू से ही ये बहुत बड़ा है, यहाँ का बोन ही बड़ा है, तो आपको सर्जरी करनी है। सो देयर आर रीजंस व्हाई where you can do a nose filler.
Do you do the surgeries also?
No, I don't do. I'm not a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a dermatologist. So I can do fillers.
Understood. But India में सबसे ज़्यादा, especially in your clinic, what do patients come the most for in cosmetic dermatology?
Acne scars.
Okay.
जो खड्डे हो जाते हैं acne के बाद. That is the most popular thing that people want to, sort of improve, because it gives you confidence, right?
Yeah.
Even when you have makeup on, if you have scars, you can still see them.
Correct.
If you have blemishes, काले दाग धब्बे हैं, आप मेकअप से छुपा लोगे, बट डिप्रेशंस हैं, खड्डे जैसे हैं, तो वो आप कैसे छुपाओगे? So that is the number one thing that people come for. Second is hyperpigmentation. इंडिया में बहुत कॉमन है, जेनेटिकली हमारा टेंडेंसी है पिगमेंटेशन का, एंड फिर हम धूप में भी बहुत आते जाते हैं, सनस्क्रीन सही तरीके से लगाते नहीं हैं, जेनेटिकली भी हमारा होता है वो, तो इन सब कारणों से हाइपर पिगमेंटेशन होता है, दैट इज़ नंबर 2, तो लोग उसके लिए आते हैं, ठीक है, वो सब कॉस्मेटिक डर्मेटोलॉजी में आ जाता है, राइट। तो फिर उसके लिए हम केमिकल पील्स और लेजर्स वगैरह करते हैं, और ये 1-2 सिटिंग नहीं है, ये 1-2 साल लग जाते हैं, कभी कभी 3 साल लग जाते हैं, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द टाइप ऑफ पिगमेंटेशन, राइट। इवन एक्ने स्कार्स वो 1-2 सेशन में नहीं होता है, 1 साल, 1.5 साल, 2 साल लग जाते हैं, तो आपको ट्रीटमेंट्स करनी होती है उतनी।
पर किसी को जल्दी करना हो तो इज देयर एनी फास्टर ट्रीटमेंट?
अगर एक्ने स्कार्स हैं और आपके स्कार्स जो हैं आप स्ट्रेच करते हो और वो गायब हो जाते हैं जब आप स्ट्रेच करते हो, उस तरह के स्कार्स हैं, तो हम उसमें फिलर डाल देते हैं, हाइलुरोनिक एसिड, जो कि 1 साल तक रहता है, फिर वापस वैसे के वैसे वो खड्डे हो जाते हैं। सो इफ समबडी इज गेटिंग मैरिड एंड दे वांट कि भाई शादी के लिए कर दो, ठीक है, कर दिया, वो टेम्पररी होता है। यूजुअली मैं इनकरेज नहीं करती हूँ उसके लिए, बिकॉज वो टेम्पररी होता है। बट अगर ऐसा कुछ है, आप किसी इवेंट में जा रहे हो, आजकल तो इतने सारे पैजेंट्स हैं, या फिर आप कोई इंटरव्यू देने जा रहे हो, आपका कॉन्फिडेंस ज़रा गिर रहा है, तो फिर कर देते हैं। सो दीज आर द 2 थिंग्स। Then of course a lot come for the frown line, under eye hollows, कि आप 12 घंटे सोए फिर भी आप थके हुए लग रहे हो क्योंकि आपके अंडर आई में सॉकेट्स हैं, हॉलोज हो गई हैं।
तो ये तो बहुत यंग एज में भी हो जाता है।
बिल्कुल यंग एज में भी हो जाता है, 22 पे भी हो जाता है, उसमें भी हम फिर फिलर डालते हैं। बट फिर वही है कि हर 6 महीने में मत डालना, 1 साल वेट करना, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट।
बट डार्क सर्कल्स को कैसे निकाला जाए?
डार्क सर्कल्स को आप कम कर सकते हो, निकाल नहीं सकते,
बिल्कुल भी नहीं।
आई मीन इट डिपेंड्स की इंटेंसिटी क्या है। अगर वो डार्क सर्कल एक शैडो है, क्योंकि आपके हॉलो आईज हैं, तो आप फिलर डालोगे, वो शैडो चला जाएगा, डार्क सर्कल चला जाएगा। अगर वो डार्क सर्कल आपके हीमोग्लोबिन कम होने के कारण है, आपने अनीमिया ठीक कर दिया, आयरन सप्लीमेंट्स ले लिए, तो फिर वो ठीक हो सकता है। आपके डार्क सर्कल्स कांस्टेंट रबिंग के कारण हैं, आपको आई एलर्जीज हैं, स्किन में यहाँ एलर्जी, और आप कांस्टेंट रब कर रहे हो, तो आपको वो ट्रीट करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। आपके डार्क सर्कल्स आपके एलर्जीज आई मेकअप के कारण हो रही हैं और आपको डार्क सर्कल्स हो रहे हैं, तो आपको वो बंद करना पड़ेगा। तो यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट कि कॉज क्या है। लेकिन अगर वो बिल्कुल डार्क, अगर आपको हार्मोनल इश्यूज हैं, हाइपोथायरॉयड है, आपको इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस है, तो यहाँ थिक सा बन जाता है, थिक डार्क, बहुत मुश्किल निकालना। वो इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस ठीक करना पड़ेगा, पीसीओडी ठीक करना पड़ेगा, वेट लॉस करना पड़ेगा, BMI शुड बी नॉर्मल, तब जाके वो कम होगा। और अगर यहाँ बहुत हाइपर पिगमेंट हो चुका है तो वो कम होता है, वो 100% जाता नहीं अगर बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया। अगर आपने उसको इनिशियल फेज में ही टैप कर लिया और वहाँ पे आपने क्रीम्स लगा लिए, मॉइस्चराइजर लगा लिए, जो भी आपके डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट ने आपको दी, क्रीम्स दी, पिको लेज़र कर दिया, क्यू स्विच लेज़र कर दिया, शुरू में ही कर दिया, तो फिर आप उसे ठीक कर सकते हैं।
बट अंडर आई क्रीम्स आर यूजफुल।
सो अंडर आई क्रीम्स जो हैं वो आपको आगे डैमेज होने से बचा लेती हैं। अगर ऑलरेडी डैमेज हो गया हो, जैसे कि मेरे आंखों के नीचे रिंकल्स हैं, वो ऑलरेडी हैं, तो अब यहाँ मैं कितने भी क्रीम्स लगा लूँ मेरे रिंकल्स नहीं जाएंगे। मुझे इसके लिए बोटॉक्स लेना ही पड़ेगा। ठीक है। इसी तरह से अगर मुझे ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे काला हो चुका है पिगमेंट और बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया है, तो मैं कुछ भी कर लूँ क्रीम से वो लाइट हो सकती, कम हो सकती है, 20% 30% कम हो सकती है, तो शायद गायब नहीं होंगी जब तक कि मैं वहाँ पिको लेज़र, अच्छा लेज़र से भी वो 100% नहीं जा सकती, 70% ठीक हो सकता है।
गॉट इट। ठीक है, लाइफस्टाइल
बदलना पड़ेगा और जल्दी शुरू करना पड़ेगा। आपने देखा कि डार्क सर्कल शुरू हो रही है तो उसे वहीं पे रोक लो।
तो उसके लिए लेजर ट्रीटमेंट
नहीं, तब आप क्रीम्स यूज करो।
ओके।
बिगिनिंग में तो आपको क्रीम्स दे विल हेल्प ना, मैंने वही कहा कि क्रीम्स तब काम करेंगी जो आपको शुरुआत है, पिगमेंट जस्ट शुरू हो रही है, अपर लेयर्स में है, और आप उसका कारण जो है उसे ट्रीट करो। आप सिर्फ रैंडमली क्रीम लगा रहे हो लेकिन आपका हीमोग्लोबिन इतना मतलब 4 है तो डार्क सर्कल तो ठीक होने वाला है।
राइट।
कुछ लोगों की नकल्स डार्क हो जाती हैं, ठीक है, और वो क्रीम घिस रहे हैं, लूफा लगा रहे हैं, कुछ कर रहे हैं, ठीक नहीं हो रहा है। क्यों? क्योंकि उनका B12 बहुत लो है। तो जब तक आप B12 लो को ठीक नहीं करोगे, B12 नहीं लोगे, तब तक आपके डार्क नकल्स ठीक नहीं होंगी। तो कॉज को ट्रीट करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। कुछ लोगों को हाइपर पिगमेंटेशन हो जाता है फेस पे, काला हो जाता है पूरा। क्यों? हेयर डाई से एलर्जी है। ठीक है, लेजर कर रहे हैं, हेयर डाई, हेयर कलर।
ओह, हेयर डाई से भी होता है।
PPD is the most common cause. PPD is an ingredient that is there in hair color. And a lot of people are allergic to it.
Okay.
And PPD is responsible for dark color, black color. It's there in all hair dyes because even if you want a dark brown or a normal brown, you need a bit of PPD in it. And many people are allergic to it. And you get either allergies which are visible, जहाँ की मतलब literally खारिश हो रही है, एक्जिमा हो गया, स्किन इज ऊजिंग, यू नो, वो एक तरह का एलर्जी होता है। दूसरा तरह का जो एलर्जी है वो है पिगमेंटेशन। तो लोगों को पिगमेंटेशन हो जाती है फेस पे से, लाइकन प्लानस पिगमेंटोसिस या रील्स मेलानोसिस कहते हैं।
ओके।
उस वक्त आप क्रीम्स लगा रहे हो, आप लेज़र कर रहे हो, आप पीलिंग कर रहे हो, आप दुनिया भर की चीज़ें कर रहे हो, लेकिन आप हेयर डाई या हेयर कलर स्टॉप नहीं कर रहे हो, तो ये कैसे ठीक होगा? जब तक आप वो PPD आप जो जड़ है उसे नहीं निकालोगे। आप जिम जा रहे हो रोज़, बहुत वर्कआउट कर रहे हो, लेकिन वापस आके आपने दबाकर आइसक्रीम और चॉकलेट खा लिया, रोज़ कर रहे हो, आपका वेट कम होगा? नहीं होगा। तो दैट इज़ द सेम प्रिंसिपल हियर कि कॉज क्या है वो ढूंढो, पहले उसे रोको और फिर आप ट्रीटमेंट करो।
बट डू यू थिंक
द सेम थिंग विद PCOS एंड लेजर हेयर रिमूवल। तो अगर किसी को PCOS है, पॉलीसिस्टिक ओवेरियन डिजीज बहुत कॉमन है आजकल लड़कियों में, राइट? और आपको PCOS है और आपके हार्मोन्स गड़बड़ हैं, लेकिन आप लेज़र कर रहे हो हेयर रिमूवल, बिकॉज आपको हेयर ग्रोथ हो गया, PCOS की वजह से आपको दाढ़ी मूछ आ गया, आपके साइड बर्न्स बढ़ गए और आपको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा। कुछ हैं जो उसे एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं, राइट? बट कुछ लोग हैं जिनको नहीं अच्छा लगता है, ठीक है, टू ईच हिज ओन, हर ओन रादर।
तो हाउ टू क्योर दैट?
सो अगर इफ यू कंटिन्यू डूइंग लेजर विद abnormal hormones, you will still keep getting hair,
right?
तो लेजर ने आपके जो एग्जिस्टिंग बाल है वो निकाल दिए, बट आपके हॉर्मोन्स गए हुए हैं, तो आपके इम्बैलेंस्ड हैं, तो आपको नए बाल कंटिन्यूसली आएंगे। जब तक आप वो हॉर्मोन्स को ठीक नहीं करोगे, एक एंडोक्राइनोलॉजिस्ट के पास नहीं जाओगे या एक गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट के पास नहीं जाओगे और प्रॉपर मेडिकेशन नहीं करोगे, अपना लाइफस्टाइल नहीं चेंज करोगे, PCOS इज इक्वल टू लाइफस्टाइल, BMI नॉर्मल नहीं लाओगे, तो कैसे ठीक होगा? कैसे वो लेज़र आप पे काम करेगा? फिर आप तो बोलते रहोगे कि मैंने 20 सिटिंग कर लिए, 15 सिटिंग कर लिए, 10, मतलब कुछ नहीं हो रहा है,
हाँ.
क्योंकि आपने अपने लाइफस्टाइल मॉडिफिकेशंस नहीं किए, आपने अपने हार्मोन सेट नहीं किए. Sometimes people come to me and I look at them, I examine them and I tell them, beta, you need to lose weight.
हाँ.
Okay? They get offended. उनको लगता है कि ये बॉडी शेमिंग कर रही है.
Okay.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
I have seen कि आपको इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस है, ये पूरा काला हो गया. आपको लगता है ये पिगमेंटेशन, ये पिगमेंटेशन नहीं है.
हाँ.
ये इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस है. You have to lose weight. You have to stop sugar. You have to stop jaggery. You have to stop honey. You have to stop coconut sugar.
But these
Don't
alternative sugars
feel-
are also not good.
They will all lead to raise and increase IGF-1.
And why do people promote it that sugar नहीं तो डेट खा लो उससे ठीक रहेगा?
आप खा लो अगर आपको PCOS नहीं है. मैं PCOS
हाँ.
वालों की बात कर रही हूँ.
हाँ, but for them also they
Of course,
shouldn't.
for them only. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about people who have insulin resistance, people who have diabetes, people who have PCOS, and people who don't want to age fast. Also them. Because all forms of sugar will cause a process called glycation, which makes you age faster.
Yeah.
So if you want, then you restrict. Otherwise, you eat in moderation.
But insulin's resistance से black patches आते हैं
Yeah.
body पे.
You get like a thick band on your neck. You get thick bands
हाँ.
under your eyes. You get thickening and darkening of your underarms. Thick, dark bands on the neck.
हाँ.
Okay? So the person will be a little overweight, a little obese.
हाँ.
And you see that. And you know that, oh, this is a condition called acanthosis nigricans. And there is insulin resistance in this person. And the person needs to lose weight. But if you tell that to the person, a lot of times, especially girls, they get offended. Because ये जो body shaming जो है ना, ये it's there, but it's also sometimes taken in a negative way.
Yeah.
We are asking you to lose weight for a reason. We have nothing to do with how you look,
Yeah.
right? But we want that your hormones are balanced. Sometimes in your blood work, your hormones may be normal, okay? But you have symptoms
Yeah.
which are showing and which are telling us, we are doctors, we know that there is insulin resistance. You have hair growth on the body, you have balding here, you have acne, you have hyperpigmentation, okay? All this is telling us that there is something not right in your body. Your skin is your window to your inner health. Listen to it, right? So it's not body shaming.
Yeah, but some people get patches on their back also, like near the neck, on the back. So that's also a result of this insulin's resistance.
No, it could be different things. Are you
Okay.
talking about back or are you
Yeah.
talking about neck? If it is
the
neck,
back of the neck.
back of the neck could be insulin resistance. Very common. It could also be hair color and hair products. Could be allergies to that.
Yeah.
But if it is thick and dark,
हाँ.
skin becomes thick.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
ऐसे लगता है मतलब जाड़ी हो गई, थिक हो
हाँ,
गई है
हाँ,
स्किन, एंड उस पे ऐसे लाइंस आ गए हैं, बहुत सारे फोल्ड्स आ गए और काला हो गया. दैट इज इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस.
Okay.
So there are ways to find out.
Yeah.
You know, you have to pay attention to that, and you have to keep your weight under check. It's not body shaming.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I agree. You know, some people may say it in a way that it affects you, but you have to understand that nobody means harm for you when you're going to a doctor.
That's there. But I've seen a lot of people get acne on their forehead because of dandruff in the scalp. So how are they both correlated?
So, when you talk of acne on the forehead, the reasons are various. One is dandruff. Okay, so if dandruff is occurring due to a microorganism called Malassezia furfur, it's a kind of an yeast. Okay, that trickles down here, and that same microorganism will affect the oil glands. They will feed on your oil, and they will, give you acne on the forehead. If you apply oil and sleep at night, at bedtime, and that oil trickles onto your forehead, it will clog your pores and you will get forehead acne. If you work out and you don't wash your face immediately after a workout,
Oh, it
all
should be.
that sweat that trickles on your face, and then that will dry up, and the sweat salts will clog your pores and give you forehead acne.
So after workout, you must immediately wash your face.
wash your face, wash your body,
Haan.
because you can also get body acne.
Yeah.
If you constantly wear a bandana, okay, or a cap which is tightly fitted, there is friction. that will also clog your pores and give you forehead acne. So there are various reasons. If you're spraying some hair mousse or whatever which is clogging your pores here, it will give you forehead acne. So there are all these reasons for forehead acne.
Yeah. My God, so much of care needs to be taken.
And if you have hair bangs on your, on your face all the time, on your forehead, and you have hair product, or if your scalp is oily, that also can give you forehead acne.
Yeah. Shit. I'm just wondering how people take care of themselves so damn much.
No, I mean, it's just, you have to be aware. And and as I said, if you have acne prone skin, you will get forehead acne with all these reasons. Not everybody gets dandruff. Get the dandruff treated if you have dandruff.
Yeah.
Now, dandruff cannot be cured. It can be controlled and treated.
मतलब एक बार आ गया, it can never go back.
No, it may or may not. Sometimes if you have seborrheic dermatitis, it may stay forever. Okay. But it is waxing and waning. You're more stressed, it comes. You've gone to a very polluted place, it comes. You are sweating too much, it comes. You're in a very, very cold environment where your scalp is very dry, it comes.
Yeah.
So, or you've used some product not agreeing to your skin, your scalp, it comes.
Yeah.
So, that is what skin and hair and scalp is all about. That you need to just take basic care and understand that, control is important.
But some people say twice a week, some people say thrice a week shampoo you must do. So is there like a particular frequency, or it really depends on the hair type?
It depends on your hair. So usually if you wash 2 to 3 times in a week, it's enough. If you have normal, your scalp is not too oily. If your scalp is very dry, then maybe you want to shampoo once or twice. Okay. But if it's very oily, you might want to do it alternate days and sometimes every day also.
Okay.
If it's too oily. So, and if you are working out and sweating, then you may have to pour water on your scalp every day. You need not shampoo, but you may just wash with water at least.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, because a lot of people are too lazy to shampoo.
No, it's important.
आजकल होता ही नहीं है किसी से.
No, it's very important. You need to, because there is. Oh, I know boys who shampoo every day. I have patients who come and shampoo morning and night. नहीं 2 बार पसीना आ जाता है तो shampoo नहीं लगा तो लगता है गंदी गई नहीं. But you need to shampoo because the dirt, grime, oil, whatever pollution, your own scalp is secreting a lot of sweat and oil. All of that together will, sort of cause folliculitis, वो bumps, boils हो जाती हैं, या फिर हेयर फॉल हो जाता है इवेंचुअली बिकॉज बहुत सारा बिल्डअप हो जाता है, या डैंड्रफ हो जाता है. तो इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट टू मेंटेन दैट हाइजीन. तो हफ्ते में 2 बार तो शैम्पू कर ही लेना चाहिए. और बहुत सेंसिटिव ड्राई स्कैल्प है तो 1 बार किया, और ऑयली है तो मे बी ऑल्टरनेट या फिर एवरी डे. ना जब आप एवरी डे करते हो आपको बहुत केयरफुल रहना पड़ेगा. डोंट यूज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग शैम्पू. Use some baby shampoo 3 days a week and use a regular shampoo on the other days.
So shampoo के लिए भी you must ask a dermat which one should you go for.
You can decide, no? If you have a problem, then you decide. You go and ask a dermat. But अगर regular है तो ठीक है.
कोई भी चलता है.
कोई भी चलता है.
Got it. And like, what is that one main big thing, like big reason for skin cancer these days? Even
sun
like
exposure.
That's the one.
That's the only reason.
Like the more the
why
sun
do we keep
exposure?
saying sunscreen, and then people sort of troll you and say, oh, we what is this, and sunscreen, we like vitamin D, we want vitamin D, or supplements le lo, and or we like the tan. But the only reason for a basal cell carcinoma or a melanoma or a squamous cell carcinoma, which are cancers of your skin, is sun exposure or tanning beds.
But there are so many foreigners who just sit in the sun
with
all
a lot
day.
of sunscreen. You see, open the website of the American Academy of Dermatology, and you see how much of a significance they give to a sunscreen. It's so important. Now we are lucky as Indians. We have darker skin. We have more melanin. That's why we have darker skin. When you have more melanin, it protects you from UV rays, which is why we don't see so much skin cancer.
Correct.
As in the West. Okay. So But you still may get skin cancer, and you may get sun allergies, and you may get we get pigmentation. So it's nice to preserve yourself.
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the morning and feel happy and confident, and not say, oh, I've got this dark spot here, or I've got this pimple here, or whatever. So why not take care?
So with any sunscreen people can use, or is there a specific type also of
Depends
sunscreen?
on your skin type.
Okay.
Right? So if you have oily skin, you use something which is mattifying or gel based or water based. If you have normal skin, use anything.
Got it.
If you have dry skin, use a cream based sunscreen. Right? So there are types. If you are pregnant, or if you have very sensitive skin, use a physical sunscreen, something which just has zinc oxide and titanium dioxide in it. It doesn't have other chemicals.
Okay.
So depending on your skin type, you choose your sunscreen.
It's interesting how, when you have a life within yourself, when you're pregnant, applying creams on your skin affects it so much.
If so, the thing is that there are studies which show that they're only done in mice. There are no studies which are done in pregnant women, because you can't risk the baby which is being formed inside.
Right.
So the studies are only in mice. Okay, where they have shown that certain amount, if you're doing it every single day, there may be an effect. And so you want to be cautious.
Okay.
All right. Although scientifically, a topical application would need to be in humongous quantities every single day for side effects to happen. So that is why, if you have used a regular sunscreen and you're pregnant, kuch nahi hoga.
Okay.
Technically kuch nahi hoga. But if you come to us and say, what should we use? We will give you options which are there. If you have a better option, why not?
Yeah.
Food तो आप सब कुछ खा सकते हो, but if you go to a nutritionist, they will give you options, right? It's the same thing.
Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah. And tell me about new technologies which are coming in medical devices for skincare. Which are some of those in India which have recently come from the US, जो यहाँ पे पहले कभी नहीं थे, but now they're being used extensively.
So we're doing a lot of exosome therapy, a lot of polynucleotides, polyribonucleotide therapy. We use it with microneedles, and these are either plant-based or they are taken sometimes from animals as well. And they are vesicles which are like messengers which go to different cells of the skin and then tell them what to do. If they go to a cell which is producing more pigment, it will tell that to produce less pigment. So it works on the DNA. Then if it goes to a fibroblast which is breaking your collagen, then it will tell them slow down. So that is the exosome therapy. And
how do you apply that?
So there's a device called the Dermapen, a microneedling device. So you use that on the face or whichever part of the body, hands and the décolletage everywhere, neck. And then you just pour these exosomes. So it's a liquid, it's a thick liquid. You pour it, you leave it on for 9 hours. So it slowly trickles into the deeper layers of your skin because you've created channels with your Dermapen.
Okay.
And then it starts its work. So the exosomes and the polyribonucleotides. The polyribonucleotides are again DNA. They're actual DNA.
Correct.
And they are injected into the skin at certain places so that they then spread to the rest of the skin and stimulate your collagen. So these two. And then there are a lot of...
Where is that DNA extracted from?
Somebody's umbilical cord, placenta.
Oh.
Yeah.
But does it suit somebody else's DNA?
Yeah, they're all animal based or birds, animals. You're taking it from them, and it usually doesn't cause a reaction.
Yeah,
because they're really processed and and then made safe. Now, in spite of that, if one person gets an allergy, we don't know, but it's rare. But those are there. Then we're doing a lot of biostimulatory injections like Profhilo and Volite and all of these, which are injected into the skin in such a way that they again stimulate the cells called fibroblasts, which produce new collagen. So you don't see a result instantly. Like you do a filler, you see a result. You do a Botox in 2 weeks, you see a result. You do these biostimulatory injections like Profhilo or Sculptra, you don't see instant results because they are making your own cells produce new collagen. So you have that tightening effect. You have a hydration effect with Profhilo because it has hyaluronic acid.
Yeah.
But the actual tightening, firming effect is seen after 2-3 months because it's natural. So we're doing these. And then there are newer lasers, newer devices. There's something called microcoring. There is something called QO injection for cellulite. Lasers are constantly being upgraded.
Yeah.
The wavelengths are, changing every time so that they reach particular cells in your skin. Then you have, muscle stimulatory devices which stimulate your muscles. So you don't need Botox and you don't need exercise. You just put the device on your face and you lie down and it stimulates your muscles and it tones your muscles.
Really?
Yeah. And then in the phase 1 trial there is a phase 1 trial of an acne vaccine. So it's too early now. But imagine having an acne vaccine where
You never get it then.
so you will get acne if you apply wrong products and stuff. But if it's acne due to the Cutibacterium acne, that microorganism, you will not get it because you're taking a vaccine. So there are 5 trials that happen. It's in phase 1 now. So it has to cross 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Where is that happening?
in the US.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe in the next 5 years or 6 years, you'll have an acne vaccine.
Oh,
It won't work in
interesting.
all types of acne, but those who get pimples because of the microorganism have something to look forward to.
But at what age will you be
Well, we'll have to
vaccinated?
see that. I mean, obviously they'll give it in the early teens,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
or maybe still earlier.
Huh.
Studies are still on, so we don't know. There is a topical Botox that is now again under trial.
What is
So
that?
it's a cream which works like Botox.
Oh.
Till date, whatever creams are there don't work like Botox.
Huh.
Even if they say wrinkles go away, this, that, no, it's not happening.
But there are like
Okay.
new lip glosses by Victoria's Secret, like brands, which you apply on your lips and then it just
Plumps
feels
the
like,
lip?
yeah. Is it like?
लाल मिर्च ले लो कैप्सिसिन है उसमें, ठीक है, बेल पेपर्स ले लो, पेपर ले लो, ठीक है, उसे अच्छे मेंथॉल ले लो,
हाँ.
उसे लगा लो, लिप्स फेल हो जाएंगे. इन लिप बाम्स में यही होता है.
Okay.
They have capsaicin and menthol, which will plump your lips. Sometimes they also have hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid also, if it has water, it absorbs water and keeps 1,000 times its weight of water, stores it, so it plumps the skin. So temporarily you can be plumped. But most of the time they have capsaicin and menthol.
Okay.
And capsaicin is from chilies. Capsicum.
Yeah, whenever you eat spicy, your lips also try to, get plumped up.
They'll plump for some time.
Yeah. But is that topical Botox like a temporary
So the
cream?
topical Botox now it's actually again in phase 2 trial now and in the US, and it's not a cream that any person can just buy and apply.
Huh.
A doctor will apply it for you because there'll be a technique whereby you will have to identify the muscles and apply it only on those. So it'll get absorbed and work like Botox. So instead of injecting it, you're applying it in those same areas for it to get absorbed and work like Botox. So that also should be out in a couple of years, 5 years.
Very
6
interesting
years.
developments.
Yeah.
Anything in India specifically that's happening?
No.
Why do you think we are like so behind in terms of our R&D specifically? Like ये सब US में ही हो रहा है. Why not like in India?
And they're all Indians who are doing it in the US. by the
yeah,
way.
exactly. That's
No,
even worse.
There's no the market is poor. See, we are 1.4 billion.
Huh.
Okay, how many of us are going to do Botox? Forget that. On Sunday, I went to one of the slums here, and when somebody said, ma'am, कुछ बोलिए इनको, and जो natural instinct होता है ना, मैंने शुरू कर दिया कि आपको sunscreen लगाना, and then I stopped. सर ये बेचारे इनको खाने को पैसे नहीं, ये sunscreen कहाँ से लगाएंगे?
Yeah.
तो मार्केट कहाँ है? R&D करके आप करोगे क्या? Only that little cream. जैसे जैसे अवेयरनेस बढ़ेगा और जैसे जैसे लोग आएंगे कि चलो हमें स्किन पे भी ध्यान देना चाहिए, एंड वी tier 2 tier 3 can do it.
हाँ.
Still tier 1 तो कर ही सकता है, but मैक्सिमम द विलेजेस, टाउन्स एंड ऑल, वो नहीं कर पाएंगे. एंड बिकॉज दैट मार्केट इज नॉट देयर, वी डोंट हैव. अदरवाइज और कोई रीजन नहीं है. अदरवाइज इंडिया तो वी आर फार अहेड इन अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. द बेस्ट ऑफ मॉइस्चराइजर्स, क्रीम, serums, they're all produced here and then manufactured here and then sent there. Of course, a lot of times you have better raw materials abroad. That's why their products are better than ours.
But I always wonder, the people in villages, they don't do anything, yet their skin is good enough. Maybe because of the lifestyle. They are not living like us.
They sleep early. They're living a healthier lifestyle. They are eating food which is probably more organic. You don't have the pesticides and all of that. But the farmers still have a lot of wrinkles. They still have hyperpigmentation issues.
Just that they don't care about it.
And my dear girl, you are not aware, but in villages the skin infections and the eczemas and the skin diseases are to another level.
That's there.
Because of not taking care of the skin.
Yeah. But there's a saying, no, that an apple a day keeps a doctor away. So is there anything in skincare also?
Of course. The sunscreen every day keeps your skin glowing every day.
Okay. So sunscreen is like the highlight of our interview today.
Absolutely.
It's like
always
all over.
Wherever I go, I always say use a sunscreen.
Yeah.
And people may want to, may not want to, but I will continue to preach.
Right. And just a normal general question on how do dermats earn generally? What are the ranges of different, like what are your revenue sources?
See, first of all, we are doctors. So we earn out of our own consultation, right?
That's there.
So if somebody may charge 500 for a consult, somebody may charge 3,000 for a consult. So that's a consult. That's a fee that you pay to a doctor. So that's our first primary earning source. That's how dermatologists earn.
But tell me, what's that one biggest challenge that you faced as a dermat so far?
Just to tell people to start taking care of their skin was my biggest. Abhi to theek hai, because of
so much
times
awareness.
have changed and there's awareness, it's all right. But otherwise लोग सिर्फ आते थे जब उनको एक्जिमा होता था या फंगल इन्फेक्शन होती थी या फिर बहुत ज़्यादा पिंपल्स होते थे. थोड़े बहुत पिंपल्स भी लोग नॉर्मल कहते थे, राइट? आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट जब मैंने प्रैक्टिस शुरू की थी 24 साल पहले. आज चेंज हो गया. आज का चैलेंज अलग है. बीच वाला चैलेंज वो था कि भाई आप कर लो फिलर, कर लो बोटॉक्स कम, लेकिन नॉर्मल इट्स नॉर्मल, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, इसमें कोई हार्म नहीं है, सही तरीके से करना है. वही एक चैलेंज है हमारे लिए. एंटी एजिंग ट्रीटमेंट्स में कोई हार्म नहीं है अगर आपने सही ढंग से किया. वही चैलेंज है हमारे लिए. और अब जो नया चैलेंज आने वाला है आगे, वो ये है कि भाई ज़्यादा मत करो. वो चैलेंज जरा से शुरू हो रहा है. प्लीज बंद करो अब.
या तो लोग करते ही नहीं है, करते तो बहुत कर लेते हैं.
मेरे जैसे लोग जो हैं वो बोलेंगे आपको भी मैं ज़्यादा मत करो. क्योंकि आप मेरे चलते फिरते पब्लिसिटी हो.
आई नो, देख के ही पूछेगी कि किसने किया है ये.
तो इसलिए मैं करूंगी नहीं. बट देयर आर प्लेसेस जहाँ वो जाते हैं और वो कर भी लेते हैं क्योंकि उनको नहीं फर्क पड़ता है.
उनको बस पैसों से फर्क पड़ता
है. तो उसमें फिर वो चेहरे बर्बाद हो जाते हैं और फिर जो ट्रीटमेंट है उस पे वो आ जाता है, बदनामी हो जाती.
करेक्ट.
करे ये. तो ये बड़ा चैलेंज है यार.
Yeah, I know. But lastly, this is a very common thing that happens. And even our parents have advised this since childhood कि चेहरे पे ज़्यादा हाथ मत लगाओ because that's where the blemishes, scars, acne, whatever, it starts from there itself. So what do you have to say about that? Should people not touch their face a lot?
अगर आप अभी कोविड में बहुत अवेयरनेस आ गया, हम बार बार हाथ धो रहे थे, सैनिटाइजर लगा रहे थे, तब आपको समझ में आया कि आप हाथ भी धो लो फिर भी माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स वापस आ जाती हैं. ठीक है. इस यहाँ पे अगर हमने माइक्रोस्कोप लगा दिया तो मतलब आप तो फेंट ही हो जाओगे. राइट. उसे भूल जाओ. यहाँ पे माइक्रोस्कोप डाल दिया तो आपको क्या है, मैंने तो इतना धोया. राइट. तो नॉर्मल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स भी होती हैं, कुछ अच्छी होती हैं, कुछ बुरी होती हैं, और हर जगह होती हैं. तो अगर आप बार बार चेहरे पे अपना हाथ लगाते हो, यहाँ से यहाँ लगा लिया, वर्कआउट्स करते समय खासकर, क्योंकि इतना पसीना होता है, पोर्स आपके खुल जाते हैं, आपने वर्कआउट किया हुआ है, आपने वो हैंडल पकड़ा हुआ, फिर आपने यहाँ हाथ डाल दिया, तो वो कीटाणु यहाँ से यहाँ गए और फिर आपको पिंपल्स हो गए, या आपको दाने हो गए, या आपको बॉयल्स हो गए. तो ये सब हो सकती है. तो इसलिए हाथ नहीं लगाना चाहिए. और जब आपको कोई सपोज कोई दाने हो गए, पिंपल्स हो गए, और आपने उसे हाथ लगा के फोड़ लिया, तो दो चीज़ें, एक तो नाखून के अंदर माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते हैं, तो वो वहाँ चले गए, तो आपने वहाँ इन्फेक्ट कर लिया। फिर जब वो इन्फेक्शन सीधा मतलब ठीक हुआ तो वहाँ काला दाग पड़ गया, धब्बा पड़ गया। या फिर आपने इतना मतलब उसे निकाला है उसको, मतलब नाखून लगा करके कि वो स्किन डैमेज हो गया, तो आपके काले दाग पड़ गए। तो क्यों करना है ये सब?
बट फेस वॉश मतलब पानी डालने के बाद शुड यू रब ऑफ योर फेस विद नैपकिन और शुड यू जस्ट लेट द वाटर ड्राई बाय इटसेल्फ?
कोई बात नहीं, आप नैपकिन यूज कर लो, आप ड्राई कर लो, कोई फर्क नहीं,
कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है।
बस ये है कि आप नैपकिन लेके घसो।
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people just use those terry towels and पूरा like
हाँ मतलब कि इतनी गंदगी है कि कोई बस घस रहा है, क्योंकि फिर वो फ्रिक्शन से काला पड़ जाएगा।
Yeah, but thanks Jayashree, it was a really fun podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.